Going for two, kickers are extra, I give them the boot. Ooh, going for two, sit back, relax while I grab me a brew. Ooh, now I'm reclining while putting my time and I'm ready to go. My spine is aligning and much my lineups, my bank account grow. I am so rich, but knowledge is all that I'm leaving it with. Ooh, listen to this, multiple options, how far can I get? Ooh, DFS Dynasty redraft tonight, I'm not finishing last. I'm finishing past any and all, I am looking to last. What else? This spot is popping and I am so locked in and only opening the door when it is opportunity knocking. And all of these spots keep on talking and talking. So what are we talking? What kind of alignment? And running it deep, even players forgotten or came from the bottom or hitting that top end. And this spot is popping, yeah, this spot is popping. And woo! This is the armchair, yeah. Put up your arms, yeah. Sound the alarm, yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's going on, y'all? It is draft night. Of course, this is the Going for Two Live, our 4th annual live draft show, brought to you, by the Going for Two Live Podcast Network. We're usually live on Wednesday nights. We're coming live Thursday on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll be on all major podcast networks, and we're in the app for Going for app for iOS and Android. I got a full panel here tonight. Of course, my co-host Ryan Searfoss is here. What's up, Ryan?
What's going on, man? Just ready to see how much the Jags fuck this up tonight.
All right. Also joining us, Ryan's other co-host from the Draft Bible. Follow him at ff_Tater.
We are now the rookie the Dynasty big board over on Dynasty. We've been changing from to tell you. Rookie
That's right.
Big board nerd shows the Dynasty big board.
Dynasty big board. All right, good stuff. And we got straight from Minnesota. We have Gerson on the show.
And Eric, I interrupted Eric's intro. He didn't get to introduce him. I apologize, Eric.
That's all good. We'll come back to Eric. Gerson, can you hear us? Yeah,
can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can't hear us.
All right, hold on. I'm in Minnesota, Anuka, and I'm visiting a good friend named Jared. I don't know if you guys know him. He's from the Jetty Express. He writes articles on Sunday. He's over here.
He's a bartender tonight.
Hey, Jared.
He's working, man. He's working.
Slanging drinks.
On the biggest night of the year, you're
Going for Two family.
There he is. What's up?
We got
Jared?
everybody in here now. Yes, you're live.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're live now. All right, Eric, let me go back to you. Give us a little rundown of what you do in the fantasy space, and give us a little plug on your podcast.
Oh, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm just a troll. I come from under a bridge. No. I'm doing the Dynasty Big Board. That's what we're calling it, right? That's what we're calling it. That's what we
Dynasty
got.
Big Board. It got named yesterday.
Yes, sir. Dynasty Big Board Podcast and the Rookie Big Board Podcast Network. Just pretty much just launched today. We're just converging with what Matt Hicks has been doing. The ff_educator. A lot of big things popping. A lot of big things.
Stuff.
Also, Vontae Mack, no matter what. We got to start the stream with that.
All right, let's just talk about this first pick here. I still have on the clock. I don't know if y'all are ahead of me. It's still
the clock's actually started now.
Been going for a minute.
All right, good stuff. So what are
I'm cracking out Gladys in the comment is talking about Aiden Hutchinson's mom. We don't have sound on, and I knew they were going to be doing that this entire time. They were talking about it a couple months ago.
I think Kenny Pickett's going number one.
You think Kenny Pickett's going number one?
Kenny Pickett number one.
Moving the punter with his small ass hands.
Who's your prediction, Ryan?
I think it's going to be Trayvon Walker. For be real, there's been too much smoke. Vegas has him minus 500. That's crazy favorites right now.
Is that as of most recently?
That was at 3:00 today.
Who knows where it's at right now?
Yeah, it might have moved a little bit. I should say.
Might have flip-flopped a little bit. Sounds like Walker. It sounds like Walker. Who knows, though? Who knows what these Jaguars are thinking?
Probably something terrible.
I literally saw a tweet that said, Khan wants Hutch, Balky wants Walker, and Peterson wants Ekwonu. So that's pretty on brand. That's pretty on brand.
That's the Jaguars right there for you.
You think you'd want to give in to what the coach wants to do because
Right?
it's his system.
And I agree with Peterson. I think they should go Ekwonu, but they're the Jaguars. Jaguars going to Jaguar, so let's see what happens.
Yeah.
They're showing Aiden Hutchinson highlights.
Well, they have to. It's in the contract.
That's true.
And
While we're waiting for the first pick here, assuming it's not fantasy related, let's just get to some of these questions I got here. So Eric, who is your QB in this draft class? For fantasy, not for NFL. For fantasy.
For fantasy? Okay. Then Willis. It's definitely Willis. There's been so much said about this draft class in terms of quarterbacks. I don't really want to crap on them any more than we need to. But Willis, I mean, if we're talking fantasy here, Willis has the most tools. Willis can run. Willis got a rocket arm. He'll go within the first 20 picks here, I'd imagine. I've seen some things saying he's possibly going in the back end of the first round. I'll believe that if I see it. I don't think it's going to happen. But he's the main one to pay attention to. I hate Kenny Pickett, but if he lands in a place, say like Seattle, I mean, you got Metcalf, you got Lockett, you got Noah Fant. That's a pretty solid group of weapons.
How do you feel about the Saints connection? They've been talking with him.
That's interesting. I feel like nobody knows how to feel about the Saints right now since Peyton's gone, and they're kind of a wild card.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll feel better about the Saints connection if they take Pickett and then they take a wide receiver with the other pick.
And Michael Thomas says his knee doesn't hurt.
Yeah, Mike Thomas's knee feels a lot better. And Jameis can go back to, doing what Jameis does. Eating W's,
baby.
Eating W's. Stealing crab legs.
Ryan, is your QB1 for fantasy? Is it Willis as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's no other real option. Like, the other one's best case scenario game managers, unless they're in like maybe QB2s in fantasy. He's the only one with like real upside. So I'm just not there with it. I think the Jags are taking their whole clock because they just don't know.
They still have no idea.
They're having a battle royale right now.
Rap Sheet tweeted out like a half hour ago. He was like, "Yeah, they're pretty in lockstep. They know who they're taking, and it wasn't a difficult decision." And I'm like, "Rap Sheet, you're full of crap. You're absolutely full of crap on that. It's definitely a difficult decision. They've been bickering all weekend. I guarantee it."
I wonder if they're taking phone calls to trade back.
Yeah, maybe, but they said nobody wanted the spot.
When was the last time we traded the first overall pick? I feel like that hasn't happened in so long.
Jared Goff?
Was it Goff? Oh, it might have been Goff.
Yeah, it was Goff.
Oh, Jesus.
Goff.
I forgot about that.
Dude, my memory works for one thing, and one thing only. It's football. It's weird.
Who had the pick, though? Was it the Colts? Wasn't the Colts? No, it wasn't. Was it the Colts?
It might have been. No, I don't know, honestly.
I don't remember who had that first pick.
I don't either.
It was a weird
Kyle,
drop.
Kyle's our stat checker. He's saying Goff.
Way to go, Kyle. Good shout out, Kyle.
Oh, the Titans.
Titans. When did the Titans trade into the first round or first pick?
No, the Titans traded the first pick to the Rams.
Oh, they were the first pick. I got you. They were the first
pick.
I got you. I was like, the Titans trade up to the first pick. Who the hell did they get?
Yeah, the Titans were bad enough to have a first pick. That is blank from my memory.
Holy they traded first overall, fourth, sixth. Okay, that's what the Titans. Yeah. Tennessee got the Rams first, 2 second rounders, a third, a first for the next year, and a third for the next year.
Jesus Christ.
The pick is in. Have they announced it yet? Because it's still not showing on my screen, but it says the pick is in on the clock.
Just says pick is in. I'm seeing Susie Colbert. Susie looks nice tonight. Good on you.
So we talked about the QB one. Who is your RB one? This is a little bit more interesting here, Eric.
Breece Hall.
Is it Breece
Definitely
Hall?
Breece Hall. And then I really like Kenneth Walker too, but I think Breece is.
I was going to ask you.
Breece has the best tools.
Let's say Breece doesn't end in the best situation, and Kenneth Walker ends in the best situation. Does Walker jump him by landing spot, or are you still going Breece Hall?
We got to get a little more specific here. What's the worst situation for you? What's a bad situation?
Let me think of a team that could potentially take Breece Hall that way.
But I'm gonna say, I know a lot of people are pegging him to Buffalo, and I really am not crazy about him in Buffalo.
I'm fine with that.
I wouldn't be fine with that. I'd be a little worried about that. That might be one of my more worried spots for him.
All right, well, let's say he lands in Buffalo, and then Walker goes to the Falcons or to Houston, where he will get volume
with all that workload. Yeah, that would make it very close. I don't know.
Pick is in, and it is Georgia edge rusher Trayvon Walker.
Oh boy, there you go.
Way to jag it up, Jags.
That is wild.
Hey, my man had 19 tackles last year, and he went 1 overall. This is crazy. I know he's a freak, and we've talked about it for so long. But dude, this is crazy.
That's the Jags.
I can't imagine any player who's had worse production to be the 1 overall, in our life.
Yeah.
Oh, Jay on YouTube is saying he thinks it's the chalk. That's the chalk pick there.
I mean, according to Vegas, it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're minus 500, so he was definitely heavy favored. And
yeah, Jay agrees with this. Jay's in Breece Hall, 3 down back. Even if it's a bad situation for Breece, he's still going Breece.
If Walker, you said Houston and Atlanta.
Houston or Atlanta, where he'll get volume.
I think I'd probably still take the plunge with Breece, even if I don't like it in Buffalo. I'd probably still go with Breece.
What about you, Ryan? I know you like Buffalo. Let's say he goes somewhere that you don't like that he lands.
I mean, honestly, there's landing spot's so overrated when it comes to the running backs, unless they're behind somebody who's a quality starter.
Let's
Just because throw it back.
Giants. Let's say the Giants with Saquon Barkley there, they potentially want to replace him. They take Breece Hall.
Then that's a short-term nightmare. I don't want any part of that. That's a legit nightmare because a 50-50 split maybe, or I don't know how they'd even make that work. But Giants can't be that dumb, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, Giants could be that dumb.
You only got one more season left of Saquon though. This is his last year and his 5th-year deal. I don't know. I think that would be a good scenario for people who like Hall because then I mean if you like him but you got the 104 or lower, I feel like that would drop him to you. Because people would be like, oh, there's no way it would work between him and Barkley.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, I just got to survive 1 year with Barkley. I think I can do that.
Yep, I agree. That'd be a good situation for value right there. People would panic on that.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, let's go to the receivers. This is where it gets interesting, I think. People have a lot of receiver ones. Who's your receiver 1, Eric?
I actually just changed it today. I had Garrett Wilson.
You changed to Jameson, didn't you?
I cannot deny Jameson Williams, dude. He's just no. It's got to be Jameson Williams. It's way too fast, way too much of a game breaker. He would have ran in the 4.2s if he ran. So I cannot deny Jameson Williams anymore. I had to bump him up from 3 to 1. Wilson dropped to 2 for me, and then Olave 3.
Oh, Olave at 3, nice.
Yeah.
Ryan, what do you have?
I have the first 2. Pick's in, by the way.
The pick is in for the Lions.
Pick's in. It's Aiden Hutchinson. Big surprise to nobody because they spread it up there.
Is it Hutch?
Yeah.
What in the world? Hey, who are you tipping these picks from?
Huh?
I'm watching ESPN and it's not even in yet.
Rapshi got me on speed dial, dude. He's been texting me the picks.
Brother, don't tip these picks. Don't tip these picks.
I'm on ESPN or NFL.com, so I'm getting them as they come in on the website. It is Hutch. Yep.
Dude, streaming it's terrible because you're always a second behind. It sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't have your phone up because you will just have it spoiled for you.
So where do you think the first fantasy related pick is going to go here? Which team do you think takes the first offensive skill position? Got Houston on the clock now, then the Jets, Giants, Panthers.
I'd say I had Atlanta for it.
Atlanta at
Yeah.
8.
Yeah, I think Atlanta at 8's the first one. If they don't take a playmaker of some sort, like it's crazy. I know Kyle Pitts is dope and all, but like that's a bad offense. Like
I know
Zachary or whatever his last name is their wide receiver one. Come on now.
I've never even heard of the man you just said. I agree with Atlanta, but I will say this: there's been so much smoke about Jameson Williams being a game changer. If the Jets have him as their wide receiver one on their board, I would not hesitate to take him at 4. I think they probably will get some flack for it, but if you like him that much, you got to believe he's not going to fall to 10. So
yeah,
I could see
so Kyle in the chat thinks Panthers at 6. Kyle, let us know who you think it might be. Are they going receiver there? Are they going to take a quarterback there?
They need to protect the quarterback.
It's got to be it's going to be a tackle or a quarterback to Carolina. There's a wide receiver. Oh my goodness gracious! Just give Matt Rule his walking papers right then and there. Dude, let him out the building. Don't let his key card work tomorrow when he comes into work. That would be so bad.
Yeah,
I feel like this is the first. This is the first hard pick, right? The Houston, like the predict.
Houston, yeah.
There's been so much talk about the corners, but I mean, I do think Houston's a wild card.
I took corner, and I don't feel comfortable about it.
Which one?
I took Sauce.
Okay.
Like he just feels like Lovey's kind of guy. Like high character, high football IQ, production. Like it just makes sense.
Buddy, Lovey ain't going to be in the building next year.
I mean, yeah.
I need to know if he's Nick Casario's guy. Who knows if he's in the building next year? Who knows? Is he? Who's the Jesus freak that they got from us? The Patriots guy. What's his name?
I have no idea.
You don't know who I'm talking about? They got some guy from the Patriots who's like all about like religion. I can't remember.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't follow the Patriots' religious beliefs.
Yeah, it was weird. He was like a life coach or something. And then apparently there were a lot of reports that like the Texans owner just gave him all the power in the building. And I'm like, that makes sense. They gave Bill O'Brien all the power. Just give it to some Jesus guy in Texas. Yeah, that would work.
Dude, they should not give anybody all the power.
Seriously. It's just hire a GM already. Goddamn. Casario's good. Casario will be good. Although if he takes a corner here, I don't know. Realistically, I don't know who they have at right tackle, the Texans. I know they have Tunsil at left tackle, so that's solidified. I think it's wild that these top 3 tackles, Evan Neal, Ike Mekwonu, and Charles Cross, that are just going to fall this far. Because those guys are all 3 franchise left tackles. So
they really are.
It's pretty surprising to me that we might go 3 picks in and they might not even be off the board yet. So
Charles Cross to Carolina feels right.
Give me all three players' names. Tell me which one is the most likely to get traded over the days. Deebo Samuel, Baker Mayfield, or Jimmy Garoppolo. Which one of those 3 is most likely to be traded, Ryan?
Oh, God. I think Baker. But I'm not confident about it. Like, he's the most proven, and it's gross. Like I don't know if I want any of them. Like they're all such big personalities, and like it's hard for a team if they're gonna be like a bridge.
What about you, Eric? What do you think?
I definitely don't think Jimmy, because since he's recovering from the shoulder surgery, I feel like that's really holding up everything there. So he'll probably be still with the Niners at the end of this weekend. I was driving today, and I thought to myself, talking to Anthony and Ryan before our podcast on Tuesday. I'm like, you still got 2 years of control with Deebo left. Like, you're fine. And then I realized he didn't go in the first round. This is his last year. They should trade Deebo for that 10th pick. They really should. If you're not gonna give him $30 million a year, you're not comfortable with that. I saw a report. I don't know if it was true or not. Pick is in for the Texans.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was true or not that they like offered him $19.5 million. But if that's true, you got to get rid of him then, because that's a large gap. That is a very large gap. Take the 10th pick, take Garrett Wilson, and just move it along.
As a Niners fan, I'm the same way. I said we made him a market offer. It wasn't a bad offer. It was a good offer. He had one good season. It was a great season, but it was just one out of three. So I don't know if we need to give him those type money based on that one season. So I agree. I think if we made it $19 million and he doesn't want to take that, then trade it for what we can get for him right now.
Well, I had the right position.
Derek
Stingley.
Wow.
Dude, I was so close to putting that this morning too, and then I chickened out. I'm really mad at myself for it. Like I was just like, I should do this. Nope, wrong.
I feel like people in the Giants building just freaked out a little bit. I think Sauce is going to be pegged for number 7 now, unless they trade back.
I don't know. Jets might panic now. Who knows?
They could take him at 4. Yeah.
I got the Jets with Icky.
Anthony seems pretty adamant that he's the number 1 player on their board.
Yeah. Our other coach, Anthony's a Jets fan, so we've been running through scenarios with him because theirs is the most interesting to those 2 picks.
Yeah.
And Icky makes the most sense. Protect your franchise quarterback.
I would love it if it's a Aquanu.
Yeah.
That'd be a great pick.
My perfect picks went down on pick 3. It's pretty good. I'm okay with it.
I can't find the team that I did the. Send me that link, Ryan, to the contest that we did because I can't seem to find it.
I can see yours.
I did it the very first day I signed up and haven't looked at it since. So who knows?
I was tweaking today, and I feel like I made some boo-boos, even though I did switch Walker to the first spot. Geoff, you're chilling in 8th place. Let's see. You went Neil Hutchinson Sauce.
So not any of them right.
No, you got Hutchinson right.
Oh, got Hutchinson right. Yeah.
But yeah, I think like if we get, I know offensive lineman is not fun to talk about fancy, but if we get a good offensive lineman here to the Jets, and they improve and receive it later on the draft, dude, that's wheels up for Zach Wilson, man.
Yeah.
And what was that? We were talking about him the other night. He had 13 touchdowns, 1 interception the last 9 weeks or something like that. Like he was on fire to end the season.
Yeah, he was good.
Kind of forgotten about, and that's with Elijah Moore and nobody else because Corey Davis was hurt. Like we could see a really nice second season out of him, and it's completely slept on.
I'm curious to see if the steam picks up after this weekend. Because if they can, I mean, it's going to be hard for them not to nail the draft. They have 6 picks.
Yeah.
The first, 100?
They are the Jets, though.
They are the Jets, though. I put that in my notes. That's a good point. We'll see. If you add a Drake London or Jameson Williams or a Wilson, and then you add another tight end. Imagine if they get Trey McBride. I mean, I like that offense quite a bit. Then. They're probably going to take a running back too at some point. They're not just going to roll with Michael Carter. So Jets are a team to watch this weekend. Definitely.
I mean, when you have how many picks do they have total? 12, something like that.
I know they got 4 in the first 35 or 38, which is absurd.
Got 2 right here in the top of the top 10 in the first round.
Yep. No,
they have 9 picks.
9 picks overall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad at all.
Gotta know where those picks are though. We have 9 picks, but we have 5, 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks.
Yeah. Baltimore has 10. So yeah, there's a lot different.
The pick is in.
They didn't trade it. Thought they might.
Amazing.
Come on, be icky.
I hope for Icky. I have no idea. I don't know. This one was tough. This whole entire first round was impossible to predict.
You just notice how 2 really questionable organizations make 2 very questionable picks with Walker and Stingley there. I love Stingley's talent, but it's a questionable move.
Like I said, man, I would have went with the tackles. I thought the tackle. I mean, you get a franchise left tackle in the top 5. Yeah, I'll take that for 10 years. Can't get that wrong.
Nope. You really can't. Oh, man.
But here we are. The problem is the Texans need a swing so hard.
They got
to get some talent.
Yeah.
They're just really bereft.
I mean,
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to probably sell that owner to be like, hey, here's a really good tackle pick at 3. And I feel like the owner would be like, no, we're not doing that.
You gotta get some jersey sales with that team. They never buy Davis Mills jerseys.
Yeah, you ain't filling seats for the offensive lineman, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
We need some
Cincinnati's
flash.
pick. I got Cincinnati's pick if you guys are ready.
You got who's pick?
I'm sorry. I have the Jets pick here.
Who is it?
It's Cincinnati cornerback Sauce Gardner.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
I completely lost my mind and said Cincinnati's pick. I just went backwards.
Yeah. I was like, Cincinnati, you're particularly kind of far away, aren't you? They're like 31.
Man, them corners going fast. I need some more offense to start going.
I know. We need something to talk about here. So who do you think is the first receiver to go off the board? I know you said that you got Jameson Williams as your number 1 receiver. You think he's first off the board as well, Eric?
Yes, I do. I think now it's going to get interesting because I feel like the Giants, maybe not at 5, but at 7, I feel like they could trade back. I don't know if it would be a quarterback or not. We got to watch 6 for quarterback too. If Carolina doesn't take a tackle, I got to believe they are taking a quarterback. So
yeah, they could go. I think Malik Willis, was mentioned in the chat as going to number 6. That's definitely a possibility.
They apparently have done a lot of homework on Willis and Pickett and Corral, believe it or not. Corral's gotten a lot of steam the past couple hours. But we'll see. We do need
Jets
something
fans
to
look
talk about here.
excited.
What's that?
I said Jets fans look excited. I think I have Garrett Wilson as going to Atlanta there. I feel like with their quarterback situation, they need that run after the catch guy.
Yeah.
And somebody who they don't have to worry about not being there week 1, which I know he should be. And they set everything's up, but you got to put something out there.
Yeah, I think he almost fits that mold of Calvin Ridley type. I think he kind of, I know that Matt Ryan's no longer there, but I do think Garrett Wilson would be my pick as well.
Dude, this is not going as planned so far.
You think who goes here to New York? I know, Erica, you mentioned it earlier. Who do you think they take here?
If this is not a tackle, you're going to see a moment here on this stream. I'm going to freak out if this is not a tackle. I would be very mad if this is not one of those 3 tackles.
Are you a Giants fan?
I am not, but I am. My dad is, all right? Like most of my family is. If every Sunday, all I have to hear is our offensive line is dog crap. Our offensive line is dog shit. We need an offensive line, and this has been going on for 6 years now. I swear to God. And I saw a tweet today. It's like Joe Shane's going to put in an effort to fix the O-line, and I'm like, well, effort wasn't there the past 6 years. So please take a tackle here. I don't care what they do at the 7th pick. Like I said, I feel like that could be a possible trade back spot or something. They got a bunch of holes. You got to fix the O-line here. I've had enough. I've had enough of this. Get one of the tackles here. It's boring. I don't care, Giants fans. I don't know if there's any Giants fans watching this. I don't care. You need a tackle. Giants fans would agree with me. They've watched the product. It's ridiculous.
If you want Saquon Barkley to bounce back and you want to give Daniel Jones,
if you want your next quarterback to live correctly, take a tackle here.
Yeah, dude, Sauce Gardner's struggling getting up to that stage with all that ice on.
Yeah, is he lost? Did he just get lost in that maze there?
Dude,
what is
I
that
think
maze
that
they have them going through? Oh my goodness!
I'm jealous y'all get to actually watch it. I'm literally watching the ESPN screen or the NFL.com screen, hitting refresh, waiting for the text to pop up.
Sauce is lost in the sauce right now.
He's literally lost right now.
He's very lost. We have lost Sauce at the NFL draft. But oh man,
it's a big place.
They're in Vegas right now. They're in Vegas.
Yeah. Where I thought Gerson was, and he was lying.
I was about to say, I'm like, Gerson's in Vegas, and he's going to call in. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, he told me yesterday he was in there. Apparently, he lied.
No, he lied. He's in Minnesota. He went to Minnesota to see Jared Good. He's a friend of ours in one of our chats, and I think Ryan. I think you know him too. He's in the Going for Two chat. He comes up as the Eddie Express. Yeah. He's in Minnesota.
I'm sure they're having a lovely night. Minnesota fans are always very kind and very depressed usually.
Yeah, nice people just sad.
I actually saw like a tweet from it was my buddy Trevor retweeted it on Twitter. They're like, all right, Vikings fans, what's the worst case scenario for us tonight? I'm like, first of all, that's pretty negative. And then I went in and looked at their comments. Some people were saying like Jordan Davis, keep him away. I'm like, I remember 2 seasons ago, you guys were terrible stopping the run. So Jordan Davis would be a fantastic pick for you. I don't know where that's coming from, but if they don't want Jordan Davis on their team, then Vikings fans, I don't know what to tell you. You probably deserve that depression. It's cold there. Jordan Davis will warm you right up. Let me tell you. Breaking news. Sauce is still lost. This is wild. This is wild to me right now. Sauce has no idea where he is. He's running.
Dude, we already have the next. And the Giants' next pick's is almost in.
The pick's in on the Giants.
The Giants pick's gonna meet him on the stage. He found it. Oh, he found it. Thank you.
Dude, he was walking around for. Oh no, he's lost again. What is going on?
He was just lost for so long. He's like, where do I go? Oh my goodness. Of course, that's the Jets pick too. That's gonna be meme to hell. That's a good pick though. Jets fans be happy. He's a good player. Whew.
Gladys is asking how far behind we are.
Apparently a freaking while.
Yeah, I'm still on the Giants. The pick is in, but I don't have a Giants pick yet.
No, I don't think it's in yet.
It says on my screen, it says the pick is in.
Well, it's in, but like it's not like
they haven't announced it yet.
Yeah.
Evan Neal, I had to guess.
Yeah, on the stream, it's always behind. All you rich people with your cable.
Yeah, I don't cable. I got streaming. I prefer streaming. So Eric, let me ask you this: Is there a rookie, thinking about fantasy that's most affected by draft capital? Like if he gets good draft capital or bad draft capital, that's most affected by it. Is there one guy?
There's definitely a couple guys I could see. I'll go with one of Ryan's guys here. I think James Cook. I feel like he has a chance to go like early day 2, like earlier than people expect to go on day 2. And if he does, I think we'll be talking about him a lot more after this draft.
You think he jumps up to like into the top 5 if that happens?
I could see it. Yeah.
Running backs.
I could see it. I definitely could see it. He had virtually the same type of workload at Georgia that Ramondre Stevenson had at Oklahoma. So if he ends up on a good run blocking team,
yeah,
I could see it being. I could see him making a nice jump.
Eric, you ready to tilt?
Yeah, Is it Thibodeau?
Yep.
It's Thibodeau? New York Giants, let me tell you right now, if you don't take a tackle at 7, I don't know what I have to do with this damn team. Oh, my goodness gracious.
If you think a tackle at 7, it all works out.
Thibodeau is fair because I'm sure they're like, oh, man, we didn't expect him to be here. But, like, good God, man.
In the fact that if they don't get him, or some else gets him, there's a good chance next edge rusher's not there for him. They're going off the board.
Yeah, they're playing the value way here. They probably get the edge rusher at 5 and then still get a good tackle at 7.
Yeah,
there's a couple of them on the board still.
You still got a chance to get. I mean, yeah, you have your choice. You're guaranteed Neal or Iquanu then.
Yep.
Here we go. I'm gonna big brain it. They're not even gonna take a tackle at 7. What they're gonna do is they're just gonna let Daniel Jones get creamed this year. They're like, we got one more year of this motherfucker. Screw it. Just throw him behind that patchwork line and let him die. And then next year they'll fix the O-line. Yep. Yeah. I've talked myself into that.
They're gonna take Breece Hall at number 7 and just
take a left running back.
Is there one rookie you think that's most affected by draft capital tonight? One guy that if he goes in the first round or second round jumps up, or vice versa for that matter?
I think the one I'm most concerned about is Traylon Burks. Like, I think he needs to be schemed for and in the right offense to be really effective and to be fantasy relevant. Like, you have a place where they're just kind of a normal offense. They don't move players around. They're not going to use him on screens and use him out of the backfield a little bit. Like, I think that's where the issues are with him. But if you get him with a creative offensive coordinator, I think he can light it up. I just think his skill set's a little bit different. Wow, that's quite the suit for Thibodeau. With the
I can tell you, best case scenario for Traylon Burks is Debo Samuel gets traded and he ends up in San Francisco and would lose their mind because they already comp him to Debo to begin with. I don't think he's the same player, and I don't think they use him the same, but I think people are going to think that way, and he'll jump up.
Oh, I hate that comp so much.
So do I. I hate the comp as well, but that's the comp I hear a lot of. I think
I don't really
is Christian Watson. Christian Watson is the guy that could be if he ends up like going to Kansas City at the end of the first round, he'll jump up immensely in rookie drafts, but he can end up going day 3 and obviously fall dramatically. He's one of the guys that I wasn't even talking about until after the combine, and then combine happened, and all of a sudden everyone knew his name. So he's one of those guys that could potentially go day 3 or day 1, depending on how teams see him.
Like, what if Kansas City's not as good of a situation as we think it is, though? Like, what if he's used how Nicole Hardman was used, or one of their other guys just is that vertical deep threat where they're not moving him around because obviously he's not Tyreek Hill. Nobody is. Like, it's a concern. Like, I think it's going to up his draft capital way too high in fantasy. So let everybody else take him. I'm still not in like that.
Yeah, if he goes to Kansas City in this first round, he'll be too rich for my blood. I won't take him. I want him if I'm going to get him back in the first round or the second round in dynasty drafts. That's where I want him to go if he ends up going anywhere decent.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that. I'd rather believe in the player than be like, oh, I didn't really like this guy, but he's in Kansas City or Green Bay, so I guess I'll just tie onto that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Every CEH owner that took him at 1 over Jonathan Taylor is saying the same thing right now.
You had to say it, and that's where I learned the lesson. That is exactly where I learned the lesson.
I learned my lesson with AJ Brown. I skipped AJ Brown when he went to the Titans, and I shouldn't have. I had him in my top 2, and I passed on him, and I regretted it now.
Who did you took CEH?
I honestly don't remember who I took. I don't remember who the other guy was because he's not even on my team anymore, whoever he is.
I had N'Keal Harry as my wide receiver 1 that year, and I'm a Patriots fan.
So did I.
So that went terribly. That was just a terrible year for me.
Yes. I didn't draft N'Keal Harry in any of my fantasy drafts, but I did have him number 1, and I talked about him quite a bit.
And then you ended up with 1,000 shares of him for last year, just traded for him everywhere because you hyped him up this year.
Because I thought I was like, okay, he had a very terrible rookie season. I'm going to buy him now because he'll have a breakout second year, and that didn't work out so well either.
He cannot be on the team after the end of this weekend. He needs to be traded somewhere else.
Yeah.
I still like N'Keal Harry, dude. I thought his tape was really solid. He's made some splash plays with us, but like he needs to go somewhere else at this point. It needs to be a change of scenery.
Agreed.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about how Arizona wants to trade Isabella now, and the Patriots might want to trade Harry. Just give us Isabella, and we'll give you Harry.
Yeah,
I think that. Yeah, you killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Andy Isabella should have never been a bust. Andy Isabella should have never went in the second round. That was the problem.
Yeah, it's not his fault he's a bust.
It's not
that's the NFL's fault.
Because he went in the second round, he has to be labeled a bust. If he went on day 3, it would have just been like, he didn't work out.
Yeah.
But since he went on day 2, thanks.
He's a punt returner and a little gadget guy. That's cool. The second round pick? No. He's no Tutu Atwell. All I can say.
All right, the pick is in for Carolina. What are your predictions here for Carolina? They going quarterback here?
Oh God, they have to go offensive line.
The way these first 5 picks have gone, I have no idea. Where's the guy who said wide receiver? Get him in here. I think he's right. I think we're doing the unpredictable tonight.
Dude, this draft's crazy already, and it's going like the least I want to see it go for Baltimore. So I'm not happy right now. We need some offense to start going.
Yeah, Thibodeau, Sauce, and Stingley all.
I'm like
That's
super
pretty rough.
bitter. I'm real bitter about the start of this right now.
Hey man, at least you have a chance to get somebody like what's his name, Jordan Davis.
I can't believe you just forgot your favorite player's name.
It's a lot of information right now.
Where's all this hate from Jordan Davis coming from?
Well, we love Jordan Davis.
Oh.
People,
This is we're a pro Jordan Davis podcast. We've talked about him every single episode.
yeah, people
It's in a
seem to
contract.
think, oh, he's just a run-stopping tackle. He might only play like 2 early downs. What do we need that for? Oh man, open your eyes. What?
He's a freak of nature.
Literally a freak of
He's
nature.
340 pounds and he can jump over 10 feet.
We just watched Aaron Donald wreck a Super Bowl. And people are like, you know what? I just don't think we need that Jordan Davis in defensive tackle. I don't need that game changer.
He reminds me so much of Haloti Ngata.
Yeah.
He was a monster, dude. Like, all the talk with Ray Lewis and Reed back there, Haloti Ngata held that defense, just let them run free.
That might have been who Thor Nystrom comped him to.
I think it is.
It wasn't Nada? I feel like it was Nada.
I
That's a good
mean,
comp. I like that comp.
super athletic, enormous. He was like 6'4", 340, something like that. He might have been a little bigger, actually. He played rugby. He played rugby and stuff.
Haloti Nada played rugby?
Oh, do yourself a favor, YouTube.
That's
His
terrifying, and I will be YouTubing.
Watch people try to take him down in the open
Oh.
field in rugby. It's brutal. He's just running people over.
That is an aggressively large man playing rugby. Oh my God.
Aggressively large.
But yeah, Jordan Davis changes your entire defense. All right. You have a really good another really good defensive tackle or like a really good pass rusher on your D line. Guess what? You can't double that guy anymore. You have to double Jordan Davis. He's a cheat code.
Yeah,
is what he is.
If you block him by himself, and
You're in trouble. is what's gonna happen.
You're in trouble because he's the quickest lane to the quarterback.
Yep.
And he's bigger than your center
And
stronger.
pressure that comes from up the middle is scarier than pressure that comes from the side. You can't see the side pressure. All right. You can't see that pressure coming off the edge. You can see the 400-pound athletic freak being placed into your lap. Tom Brady lost the Super Bowl because of that. Ask the Giants. Like, it literally was terrible to watch. They just got straight up penetration right through the middle, and it's like, oh, well, can't really do much about that. That's why Jordan Davis is going top 10 in this draft, people.
And he runs as fast as Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, 4.7. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Got the Panthers pick is in.
You have it?
Mr. Ike Ekwonu.
Is it Aquano? Good Panthers. Smart.
Good job,
Smart.
Panthers. Way to not be done.
That
All
was
right, here's the Giants again.
That was the smartest pick of the draft so far.
Detroit with hot.
Detroit was
that
solid.
was
Detroit was
that was a no-brainer.
But good God, man. That did not have to be that hard. Good going, Panthers. It's the nicest thing I've said about the Panthers in a long time.
Right?
Very nice job.
I just feel like the Giants should just follow this up with Evan Neal. Back-to-back smart picks. That makes the Thibodeau pick seem smarter.
Yeah.
Good draft for the Giants if that happens.
This is an interesting pick, though. I really do think there is a chance somebody could trade up for this pick. You got to believe, like the Falcons, I think the number one thing that they're looking at right now, I think a lot of people think they're going to go wide receiver. If you want a wide receiver, you might have to jump the Falcons here. So, and I feel like I think it will be Jameson Williams. I have no idea, though. They're all good. I really like Garrett Wilson. I'm surprised people are – I feel like people are lower on Chris Olave than they should be.
I agree.
I got Chris
He's a very
Olave
good
as my
player.
receiver 4 as far as
Receiver
fantasy
4?
goes.
He's 3 for me. Do you have what's your top 5?
I think I got Wilson. Here, I'm gonna pull it up real quick just so I can give you the exact ones.
Gotcha. I have Williams, Wilson, Olave, London. I have Pickens at 5. Believe it or not, that might not be popular right now, but we'll see how that ages.
Yeah, I have Williams, Wilson, Olave, London, Pickens.
That's literally what I got.
Yeah, and then I have a tie for John Dotson and Traylon Burks because
Well,
I like John Dotson.
I got Wilson, Williams, Burks, Olave, London are my top 5.
Burks
And
is my 6. Just
Chris
to
Olave
cover
is
you.
really, really close to Burks. If Olave lands in a good situation, he can easily jump Burks.
You let Gerson corrupt your mind with his Burks trash, didn't you?
He's
He
a good
loves
player.
Burks.
You let him corrupt you.
I'd rather see. I feel like a lot of people would jump on the Burks bandwagon if he, like you said, if he goes to Green Bay or Kansas City. I kind of want him to go to like a weird team. If it's like, if we're being totally honest, I would rather him go to Atlanta. I at least know they're gonna funnel the ball to him in Atlanta because there's just no talent there. I don't know. Somebody said like Rodgers won't put up with his like lack of route running ability, and he won't be patient with him, and that kind of settled with me. That actually makes sense.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem like the most patient guys.
I don't think he has the right to have a lot of patience right now.
Dude, watch the Giants throw a curveball here and take Kadarius Toney's replacement.
You know, Ryan, I poo-pooed that when you said it, but it's not as crazy as I thought it was.
It's really
because, like you said, they're soured a little bit. They're definitely soured at least a little bit on Tony.
They didn't give him the playbook.
Yeah, that is weird. But he's in camp now. He's fine. But Galladay, I mean, they didn't sign Galladay. They probably don't feel great about that contract. And then it's just, did they re-sign Sterling Shepard? I never know. Where did Sterling Shepard go?
I think he's
Who
still
cares?
Giants.
They still got him.
He's still with the Giants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have Slayton there. So it's not like that wide receiver room set in stone.
Yeah, like they're all replaceable. They're all just kind of dudes. Maybe a little better.
That being said, take the damn tackle. Oh my goodness gracious. I swear if this is... Do you have the pick, Ryan?
I do. Do you want it?
Yes.
The Giants select Evan Neal. They did the smart thing. Good job. Giants, that's a great start. Honestly, that worked out better for the Giants than I expected it to work.
That's a fantastic first 2 picks for the Giants. I like that a lot.
They're a day one winner.
Evan Neal is 6'8", and that's taller than some skyscrapers. Little known fact. But good pick, Giants. Good. Yeah. Thank God.
All right. Are we getting offensive skill players to talk about Atlanta?
I'm hoping this is finally the pick we get to talk something about.
I hope so.
They'll probably throw us a curveball like Chris Olave will go here.
Oh, dude, that would be wild.
Watch Atlanta they're so bad. They could literally take anything, and it wouldn't be a reach.
Yep.
Yeah.
Except tight end. Except
tight end.
Hey, if you took a tight end round 1 of this draft, something's wrong with you.
They have a good CB1 as well. They have AJ Terrell. He had a really good year last year. But
after that, yeah, pretty much anything.
Yeah. I don't know why, but Jermaine Johnson just strikes me as such an Atlanta Falcon. They've usually had some good edge rushers over the year. He could fit right in there. Absolutely dominate that edge. Yeah. Who's I couldn't even tell you who the GM of Atlanta is. Yikes.
No, because he just retired.
Did he?
Who'd
they replace him with? Tom Brady? They give him that team? He owns that
Terry
team.
Fontenot.
Terry Fontenot.
Never heard of him.
I actually have heard of Terry. I know he is. That's not
okay.
That's decent. Is it decent? I might be over projecting Terry here.
Well, when you put his name in on Google, the first question, most common asked question is, who is Terry Fontenot? So that's not good.
So I'm not alone in asking this question.
He spent most of his years with the Saints.
Oh,
good. That means he's okay at personnel. Yeah, Evan Neal's a big dude.
Big man, big strong man. I wonder what they're doing with Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas moving to right tackle now. What's the deal?
Dude, if Evan Neal gets lost, he's going to walk through the walls.
I will get to the stage one way or another. Yes.
Yeah, they're showing him he's a bully, man.
Good pick.
So who are your top 5 running backs? Since you gave us your top 5 receivers, who do you have it for your top 5 running backs? You know, Brees Hall's 1.
Brees Hall's 1. Kenneth Walker is 2. I really don't care about anything really after that. That's how I feel about this running back class. No, I'm kidding. I think it's a weird class, but after Walker at 2, I have Brian Robinson 3. I actually have James Cook 4. I love James Cook, man. I'm a big James Cook guy. And then I have Isaiah Spiller 5. I don't know if Ryan has told you, but I'm not an Isaiah Spiller guy.
No, Eric hates Isaiah Spiller.
It's not even borderline. I don't like Isaiah.
You hate him.
Which means I'm gonna let you in a little secret. I'm gonna let you in a little spoiler alert for the draft. I despise this guy. I've probably been more negative about Isaiah Spiller the entire draft process more than any other player. So he's going to be a New England Patriot, 100%. Oh, he's coming to my team. I'm going to have to talk myself into him. I'm going to be like, no. He's really good. And then hopefully he surprises me and he is good.
I can't wait. If he does, I'm completely flipping the script and all I'm going to talk about is how he sucks.
We're changing places. We're going to
change places. That's the dream right there.
I do think
top 5 right here pulled up, Ryan. Top 5 changed it all, Ryan?
I have Walker, Hall, Spiller, Rashad White, James Cook.
Not bad.
Brian Robinson is actually graded the same as James Cook, but I prefer the receiving back a little bit more than the early down one. But I'm starting to have second guess. I'm starting to have second thoughts about Rashad White, and I don't know why.
I like him a lot. And then I feel like you and Anthony liked him a little too much, and I was like, "Nah, this is getting a little aggressive now." I feel like he's good, but we got calm down.
I have him 4, but I don't know what he does. Did it?
I think Rashad White matters a lot. I think
landing spot for a lot of these guys matters a lot.
Geoff, Ryan will hate this, but my favorite landing spot. The pick is in for the Falcons, by the way. My favorite landing spot for White is the 49ers. I would like him in San Francisco. That is the spot I would like him to go.
I can see that.
God, I love him to be a mess there.
It would be a mess, but they would know how to use him. We'd get you know how they always give their running backs 2 to 3 games a season? He would get 2 to 3 really good games in San Francisco.
Really good games.
And then hopefully they would be like, you know what? Let's just keep using this guy. He's really good.
I saw Kyle's comment.
Yeah, they could own the Deebo Samuel role if Samuel gets traded, not as a receiver, but as the running back, and give him a catch out of the backfield.
Yep.
I saw Kyle's comment in the comments about Keontae Ingram better than James Cook. Absolutely not. I'm not going to disparage you because I like you, but absolutely not.
Kyle has those guys every year. I think he picked James Hasty years. He always has that guy that no one else seems to have anywhere to the top. He just loves that guy.
Well, Falcons have a type.
But I will say Kyle has convinced me. I've been taking Ingram in the 3rd round in a lot of my mock. If he's there in the 3rd round, I will take him just for the sake that Kyle likes him.
The one and only Devy draft that I did that I actually met Ryan during. That's literally how I met Ryan. He beat me in the championship. I'm still not happy with you about that. But
back to back, baby.
That's
why I was back to back, and then Matt shut the league down.
I hate him for that.
I love my team.
Matt, I hate you for that. I love that Devy league.
He got mad after I traded him Barkley for his firstborn son, secondborn son, and firstborn daughter.
You'd be making out like a dog in that trade right now. It'd be fantastic.
We got to pick him.
Wow.
Atlanta Falcons take Drake London.
Wow.
London.
Right position, wrong. Right position, wrong player.
That's wild, man. All right. Well, I thought I had a feeling that London would be the Jets guy at 10. This is interesting now.
Think about it, the Falcons, they love these big body players. They traded the farm back in the day for Julio. Yeah. Obviously, he's not Julio because he's not that kind of athlete, but they traded the farm for him. They got Kyle Pitts, who's a huge monster. It makes sense.
Oh,
yeah.
Him and Pitts, yes.
Rodney was pretty big too, wasn't he? Was it Rodney?
He was 6'2".
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
just picture their offense next year, not this year, in 2023 when they have Bryce Young, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Calvin Ridley all together. That's explosive.
I can get on board with that.
And I'm assuming it's going to be Bryce Young because they're going to have their one row picks. They're still terrible.
We're wondering the same thing there, Kane. How did Drake get taken over Wilson or even Jameson Williams for that matter? I thought Drake would be the third or fourth receiver off the board, not the first for sure.
I think it's because of the type of receiver he is to pair with Ridley. It makes the most sense. Like Ridley's a speedy route runner. Why not get the big body guy on the other side?
I know all of my Commander fans are upset. They wanted Drake London to pair up Terry McLaurin there in Washington.
Ooh, that would have been nice.
Yeah, but you know what? They might get better off and get Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, good point.
I like London, man. I don't know.
I like London a lot.
He's a very I feel spurned because I had Harry as my wide receiver 1, and I'm like, these jump ball guys, I need separation. I feel like that's the hot theme around the league right now is separation at wide receiver. But I'll tell you, man, London destroyed people.
Oh
yeah, he was mossing people left and right. I was impressed with it. Maybe I just get too excited talking about the 50-50 guys, but he is good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back to Mariota when he started. Was he a good 50-50 ball thrower? I don't even remember him.
Not really. He was.
No.
I felt like he was safer. Like didn't take chances.
The only throw I ever remembered Marcus Mariota throwing was to himself in that Kansas City playoff game. He threw it off the guy, bounced it back in the air, and he caught it. I'm like, what a great throw by Marcus Mariota right there. Caught it himself.
Like Mariota's going to be he's safe. Like I can't see him force feeding the ball.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking back. I think Delaney Walker was his best receiver. I guess he had Corey Davis for a little while too, but I can't picture him forcing it to Drake London.
I would hold off on talking about the Atlanta Falcons starting quarterback position. I feel like we're going to be having a different debate by the end of this draft with Atlanta. I could see them taking a quarterback in round 2.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
I would not be shocked. I kind of want them to take a quarterback now because if Mariota is the starting quarterback, I'm not going to be interested in Kyle Pitts or Drake London this year. That's going to be pretty bad. But we'll see.
Where do the Seahawks go here, Eric? What do you think?
Yikes. I don't know. The Seahawks are the most unpredictable team, and this is the most unpredictable draft. I have no idea.
I have
no idea.
I feel like it's a Jermaine Johnson spot.
That would be the wise move. If they're smart, Jermaine Johnson. If they're the Seahawks, Pete Carroll's going to get weird. Malik Willis.
Willis. Let's get our Russell Wilson replacement, even though he's nothing like Russell Wilson.
Look, man, you do a lot worse than throwing to DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Noah Fant. So this is if a quarterback lands here, this is not a bad spot.
You'd think that they would want the offensive line for whoever their next guy is, and for the first time in the history of the Seahawks ever. But they hate offensive linemen.
Yes, they do. Me and Ryan, I think that was our first year doing the live draft. Is when Seattle took Rashad Penny in the first round, and then later on in the draft took a punter ahead of an offensive lineman. Like Russell Wilson came up a year where he was the most sacked and hit quarterback. They took offensive lineman after they took a punter. Like what kind of shit is that,
dude? Yeah. I remember saying really nasty. I think it might have been the first thing I said really nasty things about was Rashad Penny, and then Rashad Penny again on that chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just all over the place.
I had no idea who Rashad Penny was. I was ashamed. That was like my first real year, like trying to scout players. And I remember Rashad Penny walked up. I'm like, guys, I don't think I'm cut out for this. I don't even know who that is. And I was talking to guys who've been doing it a while, and they're like, dude, we don't even know who that is. I'm like, wow, that's pretty wild.
I think that was my first year. That was my first year doing scouting too, and I think Ryan poo-pooed him pretty much all summer. So I had no interest in Rashad Penny.
Yeah, our very first podcast we did, I talked the most terrible things about him ever.
Yeah.
I was such a
probably did
hater.
too, dude. I didn't even know what to say about him after he landed there. I was like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah. So now
Smart.
the Atlanta Falcons offense, we got Cordell Patterson running back, Drake London, Olamide Zacchaeus, Demir Bird, and Auden Tate.
That's a pretty potent offense right there.
Right?
Oh.
And then Kyle Pitts, Anthony Fisker.
Okay.
It's not great.
Well, I mean, London, Pitts, Cordero.
Yeah,
let's get a fullback in there. Let's build up the O line. That's how the Falcons win.
Oh,
That's how the Falcons win.
I can't wait for fullback drafting. It's the best time of night.
Who are the hot prospects at fullback, guys? Let's get to the real. Is
that even a position? Stuff. Can you even click on that position anymore? Does it even exist?
Nah, they're just
it's not in the database anymore.
Yeah.
The pick is in for Seattle. No trades. Boring.
No trades. Yeah, it's like this is like a really boring draft. No trades. Nothing exciting. Like
Yeah, I was expecting more trades. Wow.
We're all the way at 10. Jordan Davis is about to fall out of the top 10. I'm very sad. Very sad, man.
Let's Jets take him.
Unless the Jets take him. Oh, my God. If they took Sauce and Jordan Davis, I know I talked all about them taking a wide receiver all draft season, but man. Whew. Jordan Davis and Sauce Gardner? Yeah, that'll do.
What's their first pick in the second round? I'll go see what the Jets have.
35.
35. And then what is it, 38?
Yeah, dude, they can definitely get a receiver then.
Yeah.
Yep.
They can take. Man, I'd like them to take Garrett Wilson there. I got the Seahawks pick.
Let's hear it.
We got Charles Cross to the Seahawks.
They made the smart move.
Look at teams being smart tonight after the first couple picks.
You know who's pissed right now with that pick? Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Dude, Russell Wilson's he's punching the air until he realizes all the weapons he has. He's like, I've been hit the most out of any quarterback since I've been in the league. And the first thing you do when you get rid of me is take a fucking left tackle. He's punching the air.
That actually is so funny. Oh, my God. Oh, man.
It makes my day, honestly.
Twitter's going to make some hilarious jokes about that. That's going to be fantastic. Oh, my goodness gracious. Wow.
Jay says there's not much separation between Drake and the Ohio State receivers. I think separation is the key word there. I think that's where Drake didn't thrive, and where the OSU guys did, was getting separation. Drake was more that jump ball guy.
I did comp him to Mike Evans though, and if he's Mike Evans, that was a good pick.
I comped him to Vincent Jackson because I'm old.
That's also as well. One, yeah. But we are optimists. We are optimistic. Let's see how he does in Atlanta. Get him a quarterback. Let's get him a quarterback, please. All right, Jets. Jameson Williams. Oh man, if they got Ahmad Gardner and Jameson Williams in the first round,
do they go Kyle Hamilton here? Do they need safety?
Oh my God. Our co-host Anthony just popped a blood vessel if he's listening to this.
Well,
he does not want Kyle Hamilton to the Jets.
He's not saying great things about you.
His ears just perked up even if he's not listening to this right now. He's like, somebody just said Kyle Hamilton to the Jets. I'm not happy, man. That is But
Charles Cross looking smooth out there.
He does look smooth. Let me tell you, Seahawks fans, man. I love these three offensive tackles. Like these three OTs are good. Yeah. They are very good players.
Can we get a little offensive run here, please? Thank you. Please and thank you. Thanks.
I mean, if it's not a wide receiver. See, I wouldn't mind Hamilton because you pair Hamilton with Sauce Gardner with Robert Saleh calling it. That'll do. Yeah.
They might, if they get him, they'd probably be in contention for the best secondary in the league.
Yeah.
Like, that pains me to say it because I'm very into Baltimore secondary, but like, that's a good secondary, man. Like, you got Jordan Whitehead, Bryce Hall. Dude,
I think they could take one.
Sauce.
I think they still might take one more corner in
Dude,
this draft.
Whitehead and Hamilton would be such a nasty safety combination.
Yeah. And like we said, 35, 38, they could wait on a wide receiver. They're still going to be very good wide receivers at that moment.
Yep.
So,
Speaking of receivers, I think the over-under coming into this was 4.5 receivers in the first round. Are you taking the over on that, Eric?
Smash.
see, we're 10 picks in, right? Almost 10 picks. We're 9 picks in. And there's only been one wide receiver taken. So
Smash. I'm still smashing that over.
You'd still smash? J-Mo's definitely going. We've already had London. Wilson's
Olave's
definitely going to
gonna
go.
go.
Olave's definitely going to go. Whew. So
John Dotson going in the first.
Dotson. Yeah, no, it's still a smash. It's still a smash.
Still
I would
smash.
still take over for him.
Woo, woo, woo.
We got speed?
Huh?
Do we have
We-
speed?
We got a pick, and I like it.
Is it not
Let's hear it,
speed?
Ryan. You're the one that's got the fast cable tonight.
We got to be ahead of the curve. It's Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
Ooh, I
I
like
love
it.
it.
Good.
Dude,
Good.
him and Elijah Moore, man.
Yes.
That nasty combination.
Zach Wilson.
Zach
Wilson's gonna-
Wilson, baby.
Zach Wilson's gonna have some fun, man.
Zach Wilson's stock just went up.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Love it. Love it. Teams are being smart tonight. I don't like it.
Dude, teams are being way too smart, but we need some more receivers to go here.
So what does that do to Garrett Wilson's stock, though? Do you think that comes down? The fact that he has Elijah Moore to compete with, and
Oh,
Zach
man.
Wilson
Please
throwing
give
the
me
ball?
Garrett Wilson at a discount.
Dude, yeah, I'm still taking Garrett Wilson.
Hi.
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 Like,
Is he still your receiver
dude,
one?
He was tied for it before. Like it was like 1A, 1B. It's fine where James Williams lands. Dude, it's still a good landing spot, and they're gonna be in shootouts in the AFC East. Like the Dolphins are gonna score a lot of points now with their receivers. Patriots and Mac are gonna score a good amount of points. And Buffalo Bills are gonna have to pass all over the place because this is that offense. Like they're gonna be in shootouts, man. He's gonna have to catch the ball. And they're gonna be throwing a lot. Dude, I know, Jay. I want some more stupidity out here too.
There's a lot of stupid left in the room there in Vegas.
Dude,
I don't like
the Jags took all the stupid out of us already.
Yeah. That was collateral for 9 straight picks after that.
Yeah, the Jags just took so much stupid.
All of my friends are now holding their breath because the Commanders are on the clock. I'm not a Commanders fan, but all my friends are.
A lot of
What do you think
Washington
goes here?
fans, huh?
They can go a couple directions here. Where do you think they go, Eric?
I am gonna say Hamilton, but I don't know. I'll say Hamilton.
What about you, Ryan? Who you think they take here?
I hope it's Hamilton, but I don't know, man. They might take James. I think they might take Jameson Williams. Like
I've heard
they
that.
need another wide receiver, and that
Yeah,
defense
no,
is pretty solid.
I've heard that, and then I've heard that because Rivera is on the hot seat, that he wouldn't want to take a guy he's gonna have to wait on. So there's a potential they pass on him just based on that alone. The fact that Rivera doesn't want, and he's the one making the decisions. Supposedly, we know Dan Snyder likes to get involved in all that stuff, but supposedly he's the one making the choices.
Oh, dude, Garrett Wilson has so much swag. The Jets just got the swaggiest draft picks on the planet with him and Sauce Gardner. Holy shit. Dude, like, you know what, though? It's an ACL, and I know it was late, but he might be ready for the season. Like, it's not like they take that long anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like it was his Achilles or something, like where we had with. Sorry, I just saw ESPN's comparison to Garrett Wilson, and they went way, 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 way back and had Lynn Swan.
They said Lynn Swan. Yeah, that was kind of wild. That was wild to see. Okay.
Dude, we got somebody who was around. Yeah, we got someone from before Jeff was born.
Yeah, that's the problem with ESPN. They don't know their demographic very well. That's why they're struggling.
John Law might see it though.
Yeah, John Law would be he would be the one to be like, yes, that's the perfect comp.
Washington. Oh, you said Jameson to them? No. Jeff, you said you got a lot of Washington fans. I'm sorry. Don't listen to this right now. Don't send Jameson Williams there with that terrible freaking field. I want no part of that. I do not need Jameson Williams on that damn field. No.
And I really don't. I don't want him with Commander Carson, for to be honest.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's not great.
That field is terrible. That field claims many seasons.
Many of
from
these.
different players. Yeah.
Putting that speed, oh my goodness, putting that speed on that field. That's like the meme where you got the Ferrari, but it's at the really like crappy house.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
That's-
No.
It's like
So
putting a
8 of my-
Ferrari on a muddy field and saying just go. Like no, it's
Yeah.
not gonna work.
Yeah.
8 of my top 10 from my big board are gone.
Oof, I haven't even looked at the big board. I've had my rankings out. Should probably have.
And I will say I didn't have Trayvon Walker in my top 10, which
No Jordan Davis top 10. Ryan, Jordan Davis is happening.
Jordan Davis is one of the 2 of my top 10 I didn't have. I mean, Jordan Davis and Cal Hamilton are my top 10, and they're the only ones who didn't go.
I'm gonna check it now. Let's see. Okay. Jordan Davis, Baltimore, 14, tapping.
Yeah, that jersey might be ordered before the show's over.
Oh, 100%. He wears number 99 too. Oh,
We just have a trade.
do we? Oh, we do.
Saints are on the clock.
Yeah, so
Oh,
Saints
boy.
on the clock now. I thought my screen messed up. I'm like, wait a minute, Saints on the clock.
Oh, yes. Dude, quarterback.
What did the Commanders? I see they went to 16, but what else did they get?
So they jumped Minnesota. What the hell would Minnesota need? Ah, see, this is where I'm blurry on the draft here.
Dude, Minnesota's weird. They need all kinds of stuff.
Minnesota is a weird team. They're no quarterback. Would Minnesota have gone quarterback? Could this be for a
No.
quarterback? Huh?
Oh, no. They better not do it for Jordan Davis. Those sons of
Willis or
bitches.
Pickett?
I mean, I don't know why else you would trade up into the first round unless it's for a quarterback. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see any other reason to trade up. I know the quarterbacks aren't great.
Maybe
But-
they wanted. Maybe they wanted. I don't know, dude.
They could be trading up for Williams, to be honest.
Or Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, Ryan. I was literally just thinking today, I'm like, it's going to be interesting if Johnson and Davis are on the board at 14 for the Ravens. Because then I think they have a decision to make.
If that happens, and they'll take like Trevor Penning, and I'm gonna leave the podcast.
Oh, yes. That's built moment 100%.
Dude, you'll see me tilt so hard, I might punch my screen and I might be gone.
Trevor Penning is so like divisive in my own brain because I love how like mean he is, and he reminds me in that sense of Lane Johnson, but he has some poor ass technique at times, and it's just
He needs good coaching.
He does. He definitely does.
Baltimore's done a good job
with
with
being a good culture. Good culture.
Baltimore's done really good with offensive line coaching, so the talent and demeanor is perfect. But man, my man loves to hold.
Yeah. Yeah. He gets a little he tries to like toss people. It's like, my dude.
Dude, even
First
the
of all-
Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
Dude, if we
The
had
Senior-
Jordan Davis and Jermaine Johnson on the board, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Good luck thinking about that.
I still don't have the details on that trade. Do y'all know what else the Commanders got? They got the
No.
16, but I don't see what else. I can't find it anywhere.
They did get 16.
They got 16 and then something else. I don't know what else they got in that trade. I'm like following Shefty to see if he puts
Well, Michael Thomas tweeted immediately when the trade happened. It said, "Let's run it, Chris Olave."
Did he?
Yeah, Michael Thomas wants Chris Olave.
Yeah. Michael Thomas from Ohio State, right?
Yeah. Dude, how are you going to trade up and use your whole clock? You're an asshole. Whole
Yeah,
organization.
exactly. You knew who you wanted.
That's why you get a stupid movie about you on Netflix with what's his name playing Sean Payton. What's his name?
Oh, here's the details. Commanders trade the pick 11. The Saints give up the 16th pick, the 98th pick, and the 120th pick.
I like that.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not
And
bad.
they still got another first.
Yep,
It's only to drop down to
down 5 spots
Is
and
it
pick up
16?
two
5
extra picks.
that's a good
Ooh.
trade for both of them.
What if they wanted to get Jameson?
If you're trading up,
Ooh.
it's gotta be for one of these star players. So
Dude, Jameson would make that
fits the
offense
mold.
explosive. Dude, Jameis would just force him the ball so many times.
Jameis to Jamison.
That does slide right off the tongue. I kind of like that. Oh man, nah, it wouldn't even be Jameis because they got one more pick left. Malik Willis.
Kenny?
Oh man, I would have to buy into Pickett if they take J-Mo here, and then Pickett. Ryan, we got a spoiler or
Somebody, my friend who's a Saints fan tweeted or texted
I don't
me.
care.
I
I
don't trust it. I don't trust that.
I care about your spoiler line you got going there.
Yeah,
What do we got?
I'll have it in a second.
Nah.
Yep, I got it.
Rogers on the stage. Let him. All right. Let it out.
Michael Thomas is getting his wish. It's Chris Olave.
It is Olave.
Wow.
Ahead of Williams. All these people who are like, "Oh, Jameson Williams is going top 10. He's a special player or whatever." Oh, all you reporters that reported that today, you took the bait. That's wild.
Chris Olave with the New Orleans Saints. So what does that do for his value, Eric?
Like Ryan says, if it's Jameis, I guess he's going to get force-fed the ball. Jesus Christ. I love Olave running in New Orleans, though, in the Superdome. Yeah, or whatever the hell they call it now. I don't even know. But, yeah, that'll do.
Do you like it, Ryan? Good landing spot for Olave?
I do. I don't know if you have to trade up for it, though.
Right.
Like, that's what I don't know.
I think the Commanders could have taken him there. Maybe that was their thought. The Commanders could have gone Olave. But I agree. I don't think you needed to trade up there. I think after the Commanders, there's nobody else. I mean, the Vikings aren't taking a receiver with Jefferson being there, and Houston maybe. I don't see it in the first round. Ravens definitely not.
How about this Kyle Hamilton? Remember when he was going third overall in all mock drafts?
Mm-hmm. He's fallen.
Y'all better remember what I said. Do not let Baltimore or New England get their hands on Kyle Hamilton. That will end poorly for your favorite teams. I will tell you right now.
Dude, Baltimore's running 3 safeties if that happens. It'll be weird.
Right, dude? I don't even care what you view Kyle Hamilton as. I'm like, we're going positionless here. This guy is big. Are you kidding? Like, that'll work. In our secondary? Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Ryan, what do we got? Two more picks here till the Ravens?
Yeah.
Well,
2 more picks.
either Jordan Davis, Kyle Hamilton, or Jermaine Johnson is going to be on the board for the Ravens.
Yeah, that's win-win. And then they're going to take Penning. And
They're going to trade back.
Yeah.
I buy the trade back thing more than that.
Dude, I think they wanted Jermaine Johnson. I just have a feeling. Is that Penny Gonzalez out there just announcing the Saints pick, or am I just losing my mind?
Well, I think we just had a trade.
Oh God.
Again?
Yeah, I think the Vikings traded pick 12 and pick 46.
Ooh, the Lions.
To the Lions.
To the Lions?
Yeah,
all the way from 32?
32, 34, and 66. Yep.
Do you think the Lions are getting a quarterback?
Hold on. You just said 32, 34, and 66?
Yep, that's what the Lions.
All right, that's a far way to fall, but damn. That is a haul there.
What's going on, dude? Okay, we're starting to get some excitement in this draft with the trades now.
So who did the Lions trade up to get? You think it's quarterback here, Ryan?
Dude, I bet it's Malik Willis.
I definitely could be. Sit behind golf for a year. Or sit behind golf for 6 games until he throws 4 picks, and then
if they traded up for Kenny Pickett, there it is.
I just realized that was an interdivision trade. That's interesting.
That is very rare.
That is surprising. Oh, that's at least 2 years in a row. I remember the Cowboys did that with the Eagles last year.
Oh, they did,
wow.
Yeah.
That's 2 trades I really would not expect to happen. Holy crap.
Dude.
Lions. Yikes. For what? Away from 32? Sorry about the yikes, but they climbed a ladder to get there. Jesus Christ.
Pick is in. Ryan, you got the spoiler alert yet?
No, not yet. I got you as soon as it does. Dude.
Go.
Lions select Jameson Williams.
Okay.
Ooh. Wow.
Wow. Okay. That's a big jump for him.
That is
That slander you just had about 5 minutes ago about him going high.
Yeah, he didn't go top.
I think-
literally the last pick.
I think trading all of that for him.
That's a lot. Wow.
Oh, Kyle's saying Dolphins and Patriots just made it. I haven't seen it yet, but he's telling me.
I beg your pardon. The Dolphins don't even have a first-round pick.
Dude,
What'd they give
Patriots
us?
are out here trading fifths already, just being.
Dolphins gonna be traded into the first round.
They don't have a first, so they must have. They got.
So-
I don't even know if they have a second. The hell did we just trade? Did we trade our? Did they trade us their first-round pick next year?
Lions offense right now isn't like minus Jared Goff. Doesn't look bad. We got Swift and Jamal Williams, nice little running back combo. Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra, DJ Shark, TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah.
It's a nice little offense,
Solid.
man. Like
That
that's
is
a big
solid.
turnaround on that offense. And they
Cool.
got the best edge in the draft. Like that's a good draft.
We're
Does
gonna
it
have to
help
talk ourselves
or
into
hurt?
Jared Goff.
Huh?
Does it help or hurt Jameson Williams? You think, Eric?
I like it because you have Goff for this year, and then
And then
either he. Nah, we're gonna have a new quarterback there. So yeah, I'm with that. I'm with
We've
that.
also seen Jared Goff have two QB top 24 wide receivers before.
yeah.
Man.
Granted, he was in an offense that was
Is it-
much better.
All
Ooh,
right.
Kenny Pickett's lady is not looking happy right now.
The Eagles have traded up to 13.
So the Texans clock.
They are not. The Eagles are.
They're trading up for wide receiver too.
Did the Eagles just
Yeah,
jump
is
the
there
Ravens
make
for Jordan Davis? Nah, they
Amazing.
jumped the Ravens. They're coming up to snipe you. I feel like this might be Jordan Davis. If I had to guess this pick, it's either Jordan Davis or Johnson.
Yeah, say
Or Kyle Hamilton.
as that.
Or Kyle Hamilton.
They have a really, really, really bad secondary.
It definitely could be Kyle Hamilton.
Like their secondary, trash.
I want to know then, if it's for Kyle Hamilton, I want to know if the Ravens would have taken him. I feel
We'll find out. Eric
right.
DeCosta is like an open book. It's like he almost tells you too much information.
I would like to know.
But I love it. Wow, yeah. That's crazy. So we got 3 trades in the past 4 picks?
5 picks. Yep.
Yeah, we got our entertainment. Jesus Christ.
I still haven't seen anything by the Dolphins and Patriots. Have y'all seen it pop up yet?
I have not seen anything
He might
from
be
that.
trolling.
Maybe. Kyle didn't start.
I went to
troll.
Twitter and I ain't seen it.
It's possible.
Cal is a little bit of a troll at times. I don't know why he'd be
'Cause we're
trolling.
talking about
everybody.
interdivisional trades. Maybe he was just throwing that out there as a troll.
I mean, as not a troll, the Patriots could possibly trade back with the Bills. I wouldn't be surprised. If they need to come up. Oh, I would hate helping them come up, but give us more draft capital, Buffalo. I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, but what if the Bills came up for Brees Hall and took a running back? That'd be great. Who they got anyways.
I would gladly allow them to do that.
Dude, listen to this. It has to be Kyle Hamilton or McDuffie. Look at their secondary. Darius Slay's good, but Kayvon Wallace and Anthony Harris are their safeties. That's not great. And Zech Zech McPherson's their other corner. Like, oh, he was talking. Oh, Kyle's talking about the Parker trade, about interdivision. I thought he
Oh,
meant the draft. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, Kyle is not trolling. I'm sorry for the blasphemy, Kyle.
Y'all just run right off to he's trolling. Kyle, they should apologize to you. Who's Kyle a fan of?
He's a Packer
Packers?
fan.
Packers fan? Kyle, they're not apologizing anymore. I'm interested in who Kyle wants now. Oh, Kyle's probably heartbroken. He's seeing all these wide receivers go. Oh, Kyle.
Take a minute here and plug the hosts that are taking over for the show at 10 o'clock. Jerry and Jordan, their show is called Bet On It. It will be taken over. I don't know if Ryan's going to hang out any longer than that. I can get off and go on another show, but
I'm going to hop on at some point. I'm going to be in and out.
Gotcha. Are you going to stay on, Eric, or are you going to get off at 10 as well?
I will be getting off at 10.
So Jerry and Jordan are giving away a jersey, but they want to. They're not saying who the jersey is for or how they're even giving it away, but they are giving away a jersey. So if you're in the chat, hang out with Jerry and Jordan. They're going to go till midnight and giving away a jersey to somebody in the chat here. So hang out.
I heard it's a Kyle Hamilton Eagles jersey. I'm not tipping. I'm just being a clown.
I do want to be here long enough to see the Ravens pick because I want to see how Ryan reacts to however it goes.
I mean, if they don't pick in the next half hour, something's wrong.
Yeah, they're going to miss their pick.
Then they're going to miss their pick. And then they're just – oh, do you know it'd make me upset, though? If with all these options on the board and we don't take Jordan Davis and he goes to the Steelers, I'll be really upset. Even I'd get Jermaine Johnson, be ecstatic because I want Jermaine Johnson more than anybody. But I'd be very upset.
I know who the pick is.
For the Eagles?
Yep.
Announce it.
Eagles take Jordan Davis at 13.
Officially?
Yep.
Are you trolling or are you being serious?
They took Jordan Davis.
It's a good pick. It's a good pick to the Eagles.
Yeah,
They definitely jumped the Ravens for Jordan Davis. Ravens, take Kyle Hamilton. Do it. I want that so bad.
Dude.
Johnson's a safer pick, but
Johnson's such a safe pick.
Yeah.
Dude, Baltimore likes to swing for the fences, though. I'll say it.
One of my guys on Twitter just said, if Hamilton doesn't go here, he's a Raven.
Dude.
The trade for the Eagles, they traded 15, 124, 162, and 166 to move up 2 spots with Houston.
2 spots to get their guy.
I'll take it. Houston, why not? Give me those picks. Give me the ammo. They need the ammo. I like it. Jordan Davis is an Eagle.
Dude, I'll tell you what, though. If I was in division with Barkley and Gibson and Zeke, I don't hate it. It makes sense.
Good way to go about that. Hat tip, Eagles. Hat tip.
Yeah, and you think about it that way. Oh, man, they're still showing Jameson Williams. And my man's got Barkley grill. Yeah, Jeff, you got to plug Kyle Saturday show. He's commenting there. His shameless plug he has in the comments.
Shameless plug, yes. So he will be live on Saturday. Kyle loves the super long shows, so he'll be going at noon. Who knows how long he'll be on for? It could be 4, it could be 5, it could be 6 hours. Longer than the draft for all we know. But yes, Kyle, check out his show on Saturday. Also on Friday nights. We're going to have 3 segments on Friday night. Gladys and Jay, who are in the chat, are going to be doing the late show on there. We've got the guys from Speak On It are going to kick things off at 7 p.m. And in Sandwich Diddle, we have probably the second one most looking forward to. We've got Bo and the B League Dan in that middle segment there, which is going to be a lot of fun. Those guys are crazy. So definitely check that out, guys, for sure. That's going to be a lot of fun.
You know that Head and Shoulders commercial with Troy Polamalu where he's never not working?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That is Kyle with Never Not Podcasting.
That is
like he's on every show all the time and always watching podcasts. Never Not Podcasting.
Like our he hosts just and he then whenever anybody needs somebody to hopping into something. He hosts 2 other shows that are not on my network. Yeah, Kyle is a podcast fanatic.
He's a fiend. Oof. All right, I'm actually a little nervous now. Not gonna lie.
I'm like so far behind because it still says the pick is in on the Eagles scene. Like
mine has that too, but Twitter has no secrets. Apparently, even the draft's behind in other people.
In Twitter world, there's somebody there at the draft that's tweeting it out immediately as it happens.
Dude, Yeah, shout out Incarcerated Bob, just dropping news like super early at all times. Oh man.
Oh shit! I got someone here. I haven't. What's up, man?
Yo.
Oh hi. What's going on?
Hello, good sir.
Drafts. I'm watching the draft. What are you guys doing?
Oh, I don't know. Just watching the draft.
Hanging out.
What are your thoughts so far, Geoff?
Wide receiver run. That's exciting. We have some landing spots now for some of these wide receivers. I think we were kind of expecting that, and all these guys going early now changes your eye line and waiting to see if we're going to get how many more in the first round.
What do you think of the landing spots there? Drake London, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams, any of those that you don't like?
Yeah, I don't like. No, I can buy all of them. I like kind of all of them. I did my mock last week for Football Guys, and I had Drake London going to the Falcons, so I was happy to get that one right. I think that was about the only one I got right. Things have changed a lot this past week, but I think that's an interesting spot because Arthur Smith loves size in his offense, and so using Drake London and using Kyle Pitts together. Drake London potentially working inside the slot. You can line up Kyle Pitts outside. You can do different things with those. So I think that's exciting there. I'm a little bit bummed out because being a Bills fan and Garrett Wilson being an Ohio State fan, now he's in the division for the Jets for the time being, unless, he's going to be a San Francisco 49er. I think we might be waiting to see on that one. I really like Jameson Williams to the Lions. I think they were kind of needed that alpha wide receiver in that offense, and he's able to do that. So, and that kind of puts those guys in more secondary roles where they should be on the rest of the roster. And then Olave is there are a lot of targets for the Saints, and if they allow Jameson Williams to uncork it the way that we saw in Tampa, I think Olave's speed could be pretty interesting in that offense.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you. Pick is in, Ryan.
I'm waiting.
Are you nervous?
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pick is in for Baltimore. ESPN. Speed your shit up. What the hell?
ESPN's so far behind.
Yeah, I'm about to switch.
So's NFL. They're all.
Is it?
I have
They're
ABC
behind?
on, and they haven't even announced the Eagles pick yet. So
No, neither is ESPN.
Do you
Dude, Twitter notifications are just killing everything.
Twitter's where it's
Dude,
at.
I said
Ryan?
yesterday that the most predictable thing in the draft would be the Ravens getting Kyle Hamilton 5 spots after he should have gone, because that's exactly what happens to the Ravens.
I know who the Ravens took.
Geoff, I think me and you were on the same segment on Jeff Halsey's show too, aren't we?
We are, yeah. Yeah, I saw you on there, and I said I'll go when Jeff's going to be on. So
Let's go.
Oh, Ryan's happy about who they just landed.
Kyle Hamilton.
Kyle Hamilton.
It is Kyle Hamilton.
Whew, that's secondary, son.
Wow.
Oh my god.
All right, Ant.
That is the pick I expected but didn't expect at all.
That's
Dude,
the
poor
most
fuck-
Ravens. That is the most. I said it yesterday. I tweeted it yesterday. The most predictable thing is to be the Ravens getting Kyle Hamilton at picks after he should have gone.
Wow. What a steal at 14.
That's a good pick. That is definitely a good pick.
That changes that defense entirely.
Dude, with him and Marcus Williams, who they just paid $70 million, and then you got Peters and Marlon Humphrey, dude, that's secondary. Then
That puts you guys back to the Ravens defenses that we know and some people despise and some people love.
That's what I want, man. I love all this exciting offense right now. I do, because it's fun watching Lamar, but man, I miss having that defense.
That's how you
Miss
got to
that
deal with the
bastard.
Bengals.
Yep.
Gotta take
Yeah, that's a
Take the
pick for the
receivers away.
Bengals, basically. After
That's
Jamar
such a
Chase
good
left
pick,
him up.
man.
coming into the division too.
Dude, you got to.
So Houston's on the clock. What are your predictions here as far as position? Where do you think they go, Eric?
They should take Jermaine Johnson. That's a spot for him. They need the talent.
Yeah,
That's a really good pick.
Surprised he's still there. I kind of thought he'd
Yeah.
go higher. I thought there was talk where he might go number 4, and so he's still sitting there.
I like him, man. He's really good against the run. He's a good pass rusher. They were talking on move the sticks about like edge rusher win ratio, like pass rusher win ratios, and like 20% was the like winning on 20% of the pass rushes was like putting you as a really elite pass rusher. And out of the top guys, the only ones who didn't hit it were him and Trayvon Walker, who were at like 15 and 10. Trayvon being the lower of them, but like I wonder if something like that had to do with it, and then him just not cutting it at Georgia. But let's go, Kyle Hamilton.
Wonder if the Steelers, especially seeing Kyle Hamilton go to the Ravens, Steelers are getting a little bit antsy now on that Malik Willis potential pick.
Ooh. The Steelers are sitting pretty with Willis still on the board right now. They might not even have to trade up to get him. Are you kidding me? They'll take that every day.
Yeah.
Or Pickett.
Looking at
That would be the ultimate swerve. They took Pickett. Oh, man. Yikes.
You know what, man? Everyone since I watched that Kyle Hamilton pick against Florida State that first game this year, I really loved him. And like I'm like, oh, that looked like Ed a little bit, which I don't like to say, but
all I've thought about since that pick is I'm like, well, it's me and Ryan versus Anthony now with Kyle Hamilton because now he's on a really good team. To be like, all right, Ant, you don't think he's good? Okay, we'll see what happens.
Right?
It's like Sean Taylor. I feel like he's just reminded me of him. He's not quite that level of athlete, but just like that size and the versatility in that secondary.
He is.
Yeah,
I had him Penning here.
I had him compared to Eric Berry.
Could go Penning. Ryan, I said he has some shades of Ed Reed in him.
Dude,
and he ends up there.
Jeff,
Jeff,
I didn't get a chance to. I didn't get a chance to let you introduce yourself, Jeff. Give my listeners a little bit about yourself. And I know you used to be going for two, and now you're blowing up. You're big time now.
I don't know about all that. I'm going for two alumni, and that first and foremost. Without you guys, I wouldn't be anywhere. Debbie Dynasty lead over at Football Guys, so I'm doing that over there, and then Debbie Royale going for two, launched the Debbie Royale as well, and you guys have given so many people a start in the industry, and always thankful for that. Always want to help out, and we have our own Patreon now, so we're doing fun things over there Tuesday nights at 9:30. So we're just kind of out here in the streets. Twitter for whom J Bell tolls, and it is what it is. So
good stuff, man. Good stuff. Glad to see you succeed, man. It's been awesome watching.
Thank you, man.
Going Football Guys and everything else. It was awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much, and I'm so grateful for everything that you've done to help me along, and it really means a lot. And thank you.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Have we gotten another pick in yet? Because the pick is in.
No, Ravens pick still hasn't been on the ESPN yet. So.
Yeah, I don't have it on NFL.com either, but I do see the pick is in on the Texans, but I haven't seen the pick yet.
I haven't either. Penning makes a lot of sense, I think, because you got Tunsil locking down the left tackle if you wanted to go right tackle there. Dude. Or Jermaine Johnson still hanging out on the board too.
Yeah, either one of those would fit for sure.
There's so many edges in this class that they've got that pick at like 35 or whatever. They could get like a Mafe or somebody like that with that pick too.
Yeah,
watch them take Breece Hall right here.
That'd be something.
Oh dear God!
The community would lose their mind.
It would burn down. It would burn down very fast.
Or Washington takes Breece Hall at 16, and everybody just fights about Antonio Gibson. And
oh yeah, that would be even worse.
I do have the pick if you want it. I gotta get off Twitter. I don't like when my pick is spoiled.
The TV's so far behind. Like TV has not even done the Ravens pick yet.
I am stuck.
Dude, it's crazy.
Do you want to know the pick or should I just wait?
Yeah,
let's hear it. Let's hear it. You know it. Let's hear it.
It is Kenyon Green, the guard from Texas A&M.
Oh, interesting.
A guard, mid first round pick. That's not Quentin Nelson. I don't know.
Nope.
I say that, and the Patriots are going to take Zion Johnson at 21. Watch another guard. I'll be like, walk right into that.
Well, yeah, Kenyon Green. There was a knee concern yesterday. There was some medical stuff that popped up earlier this week, so that's kind of surprising that Houston would go there.
Really? I am not a Kenyon Green fan.
No, you're not.
I'm not. I think Zion Johnson is a better
But
guy.
you told me you trust anything that they do, so.
Who, the Texans?
Oh, no. Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about for the Patriots later.
No. I'm saying Zion Johnson's the only
That's a
guard
reach.
I would have taken in this first round. I've talked myself into Zion Johnson at 21. If that wants to be the pick, sure. Go take a gander at Zion Johnson. I'll take that on my O line. That'd be perfect.
Speaking of Mr. Podcast, Kyle joins us.
Hey guys, thanks for having me
Kyle's
on.
like somebody's podcasting.
Kyle?
Kyle's like someone's podcasting without me. That's not allowed.
Well, I mean, especially if you're going to call it how often I podcast, I better come on and prove it, right? So here I am. Good to see you again, Geoff. I know it's been recent.
Yes, definitely. Good to see you, man. So
I feel like we're
Actually
starting to
talking to
have
Jeff
a-
Bell. Yeah, that's true too.
I was
Jeff.
gonna say we're starting to have
Thanks,
a
boss.
weekly date here with Kyle and me. So I think we've podcasted about once a week for the past month.
Yeah, appreciate you
Rock-
joining us on the Dynasty Gambit. Which again, thanks for plugging us, Jeff. We're going to be doing the Dynasty Gambit on Saturday. And Eric, nice to. I don't think I've ever podcasted with you before. So,
Hello, good sir. It's a pleasure to meet you. I have breaking news. I hate to break up this moment. Ryan, Hollywood Brown
Yeah.
has been traded to the Arizona Cardinals.
Wow.
What? The
Whoa.
That I just saw it. Field
yeah,
yeah.
the buddy just texted me.
Did they?
Yeah.
Don't tell me they
I-
gave up a first round pick for him. Oh my goodness.
oh,
If they did, oh my god. I don't know if they did or not.
they gave it has to be the 21st
Dude,
or
it
the
makes
23rd.
sense. Like,
It was 23rd.
Dude,
I think they picked.
the writing's been on the wall because, like, Lamar's been down in Florida practicing where Hollywood lives, and he hasn't been at any of the, like, personal workouts with them.
Hollywood hasn't?
Nope. It's been all Bateman.
You want to know why, Ryan? Because on that Ravens team, there's only room for one Brown, and that's Antonio
You
Brown.
shut your mouth.
It is happening, baby.
What
Good
is
rap
this?
career started. Oh, he's coming. He's coming to Baltimore.
I haven't seen the specifics yet here. I just see that they
Dude,
traded him.
wow, dude. That Cardinals offense with him and D-Hop.
Yeah, I like that.
So that-
Kyler Murray.
I think that bumps up Hollywood Brown's value and
Oh.
obviously Bateman's value too for
I
the
mean,
Ravens. I think
you see
both
what
of them.
jersey I'm
Yeah,
wearing.
I
You see
love
what
that.
jersey I'm wearing right now. Mr. Rashad Bateman.
Yeah.
That he already changed numbers because he's a bitch. But I love Rashad Bateman.
I do really like that for Bateman a lot.
I need to like go through my dynasty leagues and make sure I cancel any trade offers because I had Bateman in some spots and I was getting a little bit nervous about him eventually taking over.
Well,
Probably have some bad offers hanging out there.
what in the fudge? Like, who are we taking? What's the trade?
I want to know what the pick is.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I just see that he's been
Ravens traded
Oh.
Hollywood Brown in pick 100 to the Cardinals for pick 23.
Okay, so yeah, so maybe do they take a receiver at 23? That'll be interesting to see.
Wait, say that
no.
trade one more time.
Treylon Burks.
Hollywood Brown in pick 100 for pick 23.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
I
a
hate
coup
that.
for the Ravens. I would take that in a heartbeat.
Take
Yeah.
Treylon Burks and get
You take 23 for
have
Hollywood
totally
100?
offense.
I would. Yeah, I'm not paying Hollywood Brown, bro. What?
That's
the
fair.
hell?
I'm not paying Hollywood Brown either.
Reset the rookie contract, even if it's not a receiver. Just
Yeah, his contract is
Yeah.
almost up.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
Pop-pop.
if they pass on receiver, it's not the worst thing in the world. They could still address the position second round, third round. So if you just get a good, you get two top 25 picks in the same draft class, maybe you infuse some talent throughout the team. So
Very good point.
Well, at least, so I was supposed to do the guest spot over on Fantasy Six Pack, and I had the Cardinals pick at 23. And he's like, "Do you want to come on for the Ravens?" I'm like, "It's so much better,
It works out for you all over.
dude. It works out so much better for me." But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm flabbergasted right now. I don't know how to speak.
I'd be all right with it. I'm good with that. See you later,
I'm
Hollywood.
okay.
So,
I'm okay with it.
well, okay. I was gonna say if you don't know how to speak, I'll interject some fantasy talk.
Please
Maybe
do.
Who knows? Maybe there's another
I'm
receiver. to come up
I'm
here.
like, this is probably the more shocked I've been during a draft.
Who do you want? You asked who do you want him to take?
Who did Washington take?
Oh, I know who Washington took, and it is
Oh.
a doozy.
Is it Jermaine Johnson?
No,
It's not Malik, is it?
it's going to be talked about once they make it. You want to know who it is?
Make it, dude. We gotta be first.
Jahan
Like, stop-
Dotson.
Oh,
Let's
wow.
go.
At 16. Jeez.
I've been leading the Jahan Johnson fan club, so I love it.
So Dotson went before Treylon Burks.
Where's Gerson at? Get Gerson on the show right now.
Oh no. Yeah, wait a minute. So that's Williams, London, Olave,
That's 5.
Wilson, and Dotson. Ooh. Oh, there's the over for you,
Moore
Jeff.
hanging out there. Christian Watson hanging out there.
I told you. They told you it was smash 4.5.
Well, the next 2 picks could be receiver 2 between Chargers and Eagles afterwards. I mean, either of those teams could go there.
I'm still better than I couldn't bet on the draft.
Yeah, I couldn't either. They wouldn't allow it in Virginia either.
What's up, kids?
Jerry?
How's it going?
It's funny how you talk about betting and then bet on it shows up immediately. You can bet
Pretty
on the
interesting
timing.
draft so far, eh?
Yeah, it started off really boring. I mean, not boring, but it was just all straight. Like there's no trades, no nothing, and all of a sudden it's like all hell broke loose.
Did anyone else catch that? It was the first time since I think 1991 that 5 defensive players went to start the draft.
I did not see
Really?
that. That's
Yeah,
I know it was the first time, and I remember because I did a mock draft where I predicted that it would be defense for the first 2 picks, and that hasn't happened since 2002.
Wow. So let me get your thoughts, Jerry, since you just logged in here. From a fantasy perspective, any places that you don't like where a player may have landed?
Well, not many offensive players have came off the board yet, right? Drake London at 8, and
Had a run on receivers, but Garrett
wide
Wilson,
receiver run.
oh yeah, we did have the run. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I like London at 8. I had him going 10 to the Jets, but I actually like it better in Atlanta. I don't think Mariota is going to be anything special, but I do think that if they could get a quarterback next year, have London get into that role, maybe get Ridley back, they could be out. He could be good long term. He was one of my favorite wide receivers coming into this draft. I got to bring up the board real quick and see where we're
Garrett
at.
Wilson to the Jets, Chris Olave to the Saints, Jameson Williams going to Detroit.
I like Olave to the Saints. Him and Michael Thomas can be pretty good together. I think Saints still have another pick coming up too, right?
Yeah, they're at 19.
19.
Yeah, number 19.
One thing I'll
No
say to
quarterbacks
kind
have
of
went off
just
the board yet.
further your point, Jerry, I think you named the 2 guys who probably have the best quarterbacks this year between Mariota and Winston.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think that, like, quarterback quality as well as, especially for London, I think a lot of targets. I think Drake London's my wide receiver 1. We'll see if, Packers or Cowboys or Chiefs take a receiver. I don't know if anyone but Burks could make me have them higher than London, though. So,
Are any
Yeah, not
receivers-
higher than London.
That's because Burks is overrated.
yeah. You also say Keontae Ingram's overrated, so I don't know if I can trust you on that. But actually, I'll trust you more on receivers than running backs.
So Kyle, you have the 22nd pick, the Packers do, and then the 28th pick. What do you want at those picks as far as position goes, or is it a certain person you want?
I want Burks. If Burks is at 22, I'll be upset if the Packers pass on him. But if he's not there, I don't think they have to go receiver, just because I think they may be able to get a comparable receiver at 28. But although the way they're flying off the board, maybe not. So receiver does make sense at either pick. But honestly, I'd like to see them address the O-line, just because the depth on the line is not really there. They've got Josh Nijman, who's basically the swing tackle, but after that, you've got your 5 starters and really nothing else of any NFL experience anywhere. So just even if they get a lineman in the first round that isn't a week 1 starter, but is the first injury away guy, it's probably a better quality lineman than anyone else that would be stepping into there. Elton Jenkins coming off the ACL tear, who knows if he's ready. So I've kind of been eyeing Tyler Smith. Seems like he can play tackle, might project more as a guard. Packers love versatile offensive linemen where they just move to get the best 5 guys available. So a guy that can kind of move around if he needs to start week 1 while Jenkins is recovering from the injury. I think that might be ideal. So I think that's probably more of the target at 29 more than anything. So that's
Good deal. And I think we have 2 Bills fans in here, right? Jerry, you're a Bills fan as well. I know Jeff for sure is.
Yeah, born and raised.
I live with a Bills fan, if that helps. But Eric hates all of you guys because he's a Patriots fan.
So what do the Bills fans want at their pick here? Where they got the 25th pick, I
25.
believe?
Fantasy wise, I wouldn't mind Brees Hall, and that would especially elevate a couple 101s that I have if I wanted to trade them. But realistically, I'm thinking Andrew Booth corner or a corner. But I know that Von Miller's been hanging out with Joe Hayden, so I wouldn't mind them picking up Joe Hayden for a year or two if they can, just to be on the opposite side of Trey and going with Brees Hall and making some excitement. Because ever since McDermott got here, our first round picks outside of Josh Allen have been on the defensive side of the ball.
Good call.
I think
Jeff,
you guys
I know
are good
we-
enough. I think you should take a punter. As a Patriots fan, I think you need to go punter. You can't get any better.
Whoa! We got a trade.
We have a big
Sorry,
trade.
the
Big
Titans
trade.
are sending AJ Brown to the Eagles.
Oh
Whoa.
crap!
Yeah.
Dang.
What the-
Wow.
I'm so far behind. I'm
Wow.
on. What pick are you guys on? Is it still showing Washington's pick?
Yeah.
I'm on to
Yeah.
the Chargers.
Yeah, under the
Or
Chargers.
is the Chargers?
On
I
the
mean,
clock
Twitter's
is the Eagles.
Twitter's like a pick or two ahead, but
Yeah.
Dude,
my
but
stream is showing
That
Washington.
AJ Brown? What
AJ
the-
Brown to the Eagles is insane.
Wow.
I did not see that happening for sure.
I got a
What
Real
is
quick, I
going
know
on?
me and you gotta log off here in a minute. Give
Yeah.
me your pick who you think the Bills should take, and then me and you can log out of
I
here.
want him to go up and get Jermaine Johnson right now with him sitting on the board and add him into that defense and get put him with Greg Rousseau that they drafted last year. AJ Epinesa is a little bit of disappointment. Let's heat it up a little bit and let's go after the quarterback. Let's get in. We've got to hit Patrick Mahomes a little bit more than what they did last time. So that's kind of where I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, I like it. I like
I
it.
wouldn't mind it. I don't think it's going to be on the defensive line. Bringing in Von Miller, Boogie Basham last year. You already mentioned
Yeah,
Rousseau.
they did that Von Miller. I kind of forgot
We've
about
had
that in a moment.
ton of defensive line movement over the past 2 years. I'd love for it to happen, and especially Von probably has 3 good years left. But I don't know. I mean, if it happens, I'll be excited. I think it's going to be corner.
All right. So I'm gonna get out of here, Jeff. You can go ahead and sign out. I'll meet you over on Jeff Halsey's show just in a second here. Jerry and Jordan are going to take over here for the 10 o'clock hour. I want to thank Eric for coming on as well. Thank Jeff for coming on. Brian, obviously, if you wanted to pop back in later on, you definitely can.
Yeah. Eric, I'll probably see you Tuesday. Maybe?
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Thank you for having me, Jeff.
Yep.
Thank you for having me,
Yeah,
Brian.
thanks for coming on. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Take care, boys.
Kyle, I don't know if you hang on to, but coming on as well, just to kind of hang out with us.
Of course, I appreciate you having me. It was awesome.
If you guys want to chill around,
I'm sure Jerry,
the
sure
more the
Jerry and
merrier.
Jordan, if you want to hang out for a little bit longer.
The
sure.
more the merrier.
Awesome.
Hold
fill
up.
some
Yeah.
fill some dead space that we got.
Yeah, for sure.
Are we
Hold
going to
on.
talk about who the Rams are picking tonight at some point, Jerry?
Rams picked Matt Stafford already.
It's a pretty good pick, honestly.
Yeah.
If that's what you're spending the 32nd pick on, like I'll take it.
Yeah,
Picked Matt Stafford, the 32-year-old quarterback out of Georgia.
Thought he was.
All
from
right, I'm gonna
Texas.
just turn myself off here so that I can get out of here. I don't think I can actually leave, but I'll just have myself grayed out, and then I might pop back
Wow.
in a little bit
Rude,
later
Jeff. Rude.
on. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of the draft. I might pop back in later tonight. I got 4 more.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
Have
see
fun.
ya.
So, I don't know. Did you guys mention the Commanders pick at all yet?
Yeah, we did. We've been spoiling picks before they came on.
Jahan
TV,
Dotson, and then Chargers just
just-
picked Zion Johnson.
Yeah, just to be ahead of everybody else.
I mean,
That Zion
Johnson,
pick
that's
is- Zion was
I-
one that I was thinking would go to Green Bay at that 28 pick when you were talking about offensive linemen. It's a little I mean, I originally had Jordan Davis going to the Chargers, and he obviously went a little earlier. So Chargers came into this draft with probably one of the teams that don't have many holes, if any holes at all. So whoever they were picking was going to be a luxury pick. Yeah, I think they're built for a Super Bowl run right now. I'm excited to watch them play this year.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it on our last show. I mean, there really isn't many holes, but they needed another interior lineman. They kind of addressed the outside last year with Rashawn Slater. So just continuing to protect Justin Herbert. They're doing it the right way.
Where were we?
exactly what I was about to say,
I'm
Jordan.
gonna
I think that
pop
was.
off for-
Sorry, Foss.
That's okay, guys. I'm gonna pop off for a little bit. I'll probably come back. Long
Okay.
as, still welcome. But I'll see you guys in a little bit.
See you,
See
dude.
ya. All right. So according to my Internet Explorer, the Eagles are on the clock.
No, the Titans are on the clock.
It never
updated. Foss kind of dropped the bomb. So yeah, the AJ Brown traded to the Eagles. So the Tennessee's up.
So it was for pick 18. And do you got the rest of the comp?
No, I don't have that. I can look that up if needed.
It's crazy though. So he was one of the three that were kind of disgruntled this offseason. Well, I mean, there's more receivers disgruntled, but one of the three from that.
It's 18th overall and a 3rd round pick.
18th and 3rd. So Tennessee's on the clock now.
So basically, almost the Marquise Brown price. I guess that was a 100th overall. Would be a 4th round pick. But
yeah.
Yep.
They're. What do you think? They replaced AJ right away here? Or?
All my Ryan Tannehill shares are afraid they're about to take Malik Willis, but yeah, so we'll be optimistic and say receiver, which will help the Ryan Tannehill shares now that AJ Brown's been traded away.
Could be Burks, could be Watson. Yeah. I mean, we had that little run of receivers earlier on, and still quite a few left, but it's going to be who knows? Right as of right now, until they make a pick, Robert Woods is a wide receiver 1 again.
Found himself in the right place.
Austin Hooper to the moon right now.
Yeah, that could be huge. That was even with AJ Brown there, Austin Hooper. I think I was kind of falling in love with him when he went there because they definitely need some help throwing the ball. They also, I mean, I think both of us in our mock that we had, Jordan, we had him going, and they were picking a little bit later too, but we had him going with interior offensive linemen. I mean, they still, whether they get a wide receiver here or not, they still got to protect Tannehill and still got to open holes for Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mean, really, their 2 biggest weaknesses coming in were probably adding another lineman. Their secondary also got picked apart at times last season, so they have a few options there. But yeah, I mean, we haven't really gotten to talk about it because we didn't talk about the first half much. But I mean, it's just the year of the wide receiver. I mean, it's absolutely wild after Adams and Hill get big deals. We got how many receivers off the board now already? 5? Is that where we're at now?
Drake at 8. Wilson number 2, 5. Olave 3, Williams 4, and then Dotson 5.
Yeah, so I mean we're halfway through with 5 receivers off the board. It's I think it's interesting seeing teams being so not only taking receivers early, but we had 2 trade ups. Well, actually, was it 3 trade ups?
Back to back.
3
Saints, Lions, and Eagles.
So teams being aggressive, going and getting their guys. So it's just it's an interesting dynamic right now.
Almost this whole 10 to 20 was trades, except for I think Baltimore's the only one in their original spot. Or 11 to 20. 10 was the Jets.
And as always, the Ravens being smart, taking best player available and getting a pretty good value in Hamilton there.
Yeah, he's versatile. He could play both like inside corner, safety. They had him I think they had him listed just like on some places I've seen just DB, which they do for a lot of just corners and safeties, but they also had him as like a S/CB. So it's pretty interesting to see what he does over there.
Yeah, live they were comparing him to Isaiah Simmons, just kind of a chess piece guy moving all around. A little smaller than Isaiah Simmons, I believe, but
I mean they needed it. They had a whole bunch of games lost to cornerbacks and safeties last year. Definitely need the secondary help.
I haven't seen the Titans pick yet, but knowing that they also didn't have to give up the 26th overall pick to make I guess they're trading away AJ Brown, so why would they? But they'll still have the luxury of having 2 first-round picks, so they may not even go receiver here, thinking they can get a guy they might like at 26.
Yeah, it's got to be either. Well, Georgia just mentioned it: receiver, interior offensive lineman, or defensive back. I mean, if it's anything else, then definitely be puzzling. Any questionable picks you guys seen? I don't know. What time did you get on, Kyle? I think you logged in right before I did.
Yeah. I think I got on. I think the Dotson pick was actually the first pick I was on for. So
you haven't really discussed the first round either, or the first half of the first round.
I think it'd be at the very top. Stingley at 3. That was probably the one that seemed like a shock to me, to be honest. First off, him being the first cornerback in the first defensive back overall. I think maybe expecting him maybe to be the 3rd guy off the board, and definitely not 3rd overall, like 3rd defensive back, not 3rd player. So that was probably for me the most surprising.
Yeah, looking at the board, going back to the board, I mean, teams that I thought were going to take certain positions, they took them, just not the player that I thought. But yeah, Stingley at 3 was definitely the most surprising. I had 3 edge rushers off the board to go 1, 2, and 3. It only started with 2, and then Stingley went. Gardner maybe could have been there. Other than that, I mean, the rest of the board up until the Saints at 11, so 1 through 10 was kind of what I thought, just not the exact players, but the right positions for those teams.
Got to see a little bit of history too. That was the first time that 2 corners were taken in the top 4. I was a little surprised by Stingley. I had Sauce going 3, so I was reading a little bit from local Texas news that they were looking at corner. So obviously they had Stingley above Sauce, but I think that was a priority for him. And if Stingley didn't have the injury concern, I don't know if it would have been surprising. So obviously the medicals came back where they're comfortable enough with it. So we'll see.
The pick is in, by the way.
Yep. You got it? You want me to say it?
You guys are the hosts. So you can determine whatever you want.
Jerry, that's your job.
Yeah, well, they replaced him. They replaced A.J. Brown with Traylon Burks out of Arkansas. My probably, I mean, all offseason, he was kind of between my 1 and 2, between him and Drake London. Do I exactly love the landing spot? Not entirely. I mean, he's definitely going to have a lot of opportunity this year now, especially with Woods coming back from the ACL and AJ Brown gone. But they're not a pass happy team. They still got to protect Tannehill, like we already mentioned. But I believe that if they could get some help for Tannehill and keep him upright and able to get the ball out of his hands, I think Traylon Burks could be huge, especially just in his rookie season and then for his career too.
So how would you guys rank these receivers now the landing spots determined for how order you take them in rookie drafts?
I'd probably go Drake 1. I love that spot. I love the opportunity that he's going to have. Again, it's another kind of situation where the quarterback kind of stinks. He's kind of relying on Marcus Mariota, but they got to throw the ball there. And outside of Kyle Pitts, they really had nobody. I mean, Williams could be up there if you're willing, if your team is kind of set at wide receiver or has some depth at wide receiver to where you can sit on him for a little bit, and then long term I think he could be good. I think they're going to find their quarterback maybe next year, if they don't end up taking one this year, but they did move some pieces around this year, so I don't know exactly when their next pick is, because I expected them to take a quarterback at 32, but they gave up a couple early seconds now too, so I don't know exactly where they pick again. I like Chris Olave, and again, that's another team where we know a little bit about their quarterback, Jameis, if he's starting at least for this year. Got Michael Thomas to kind of take some coverage away, so I do like Olave is probably number 3. And I got to put Garrett Wilson down there towards the bottom because of his situation, and they got Elijah Moore coming back. I was never really a fan of Jahan Dotson. He went to Washington. His quarterback situation is definitely better than the ones that we've already mentioned. And then the Titans, Traylon Burks. I think that I'd probably slot in Burks maybe around 3 or 4 between him and Olave.
Yeah, I mean, I personally still have Garrett Wilson number 1. I won't say that landing spot doesn't matter to me, but I think I tend to lean towards, talent will find opportunity. So I think that Garrett Wilson, and of all the teams so far, I mean, you could argue the Jets are the only one who believe they have a long-term answer at quarterback right now. So that could be an advantage to them as well. So I'd still have Wilson number 1. London will have a good opportunity there. I won't say he'll be the number 1 receiver because, I mean, I'd say Pitts is still the number 1 option there, but there's definitely a good opportunity for him to have a huge target share from day 1. Yeah, I don't know. I'd kind of have the rest of them cluttered together right now. I like Jameson Williams quite a bit, so I'd have him probably number 3, then Olave 4. So.
Yeah, I think I agree with Jerry's initial assessment, right? London, it's the landing spot. He was the first one taken. Seems like the volume should be there, and I kind of like the skill set. Seems like he played in the slot a lot as well, so maybe that's something he and Pitts are kind of both switching out inside, outside, help with both of them, maybe, favorable coverage in that they're not getting locked down by someone. So yeah, I think London 1, my pre-draft top 3 was Burks, London, Wilson, and I think that's still the same top 3 to me. So I would say that's maybe a tier break after that. Tier break, half tier break. I like Olave and Williams as well. It's definitely still the top 5 is kind of still remain the top 5 to me. But yeah, I mean, in my eyes, Burks has the best quarterback. Maybe not like you were saying, Jordan, not necessarily the long term, but certainly for this season, I think he comes in with the best quarterback right away in 2022. So yeah, I think London 1, Burks 2, and I'll probably stick with Wilson 3. But yeah, that's probably how I would go about it.
And what do you guys think about? And I mean, we all kind of have Dotson probably around like 5 or 6 out of the 6 taken so far, but his quarterback isn't bad. I mean, everybody wants to poke fun at Carson Wentz, but he still had a 27-7 touchdown interception ratio last year. Fumbles were probably a bigger issue for him and not being clutch. But as far as like being able to play quarterback, he's shown that he can do it. Had an MVP type season a few seasons ago. Wasn't too bad last year with little to no weapons. I mean, what do you guys think about Dotson there?
I mean, they probably needed bodies at receiver. I think the opportunity should be ripe there. I mean, McLaurin's still going to be the alpha, I'd imagine, but outside of that, like the number 2 on the team in targets is
AJ Brown gets traded.
Yeah, who knows? Weren't they former teammates or no? I guess no. I guess
him and Brown and Metcalf were.
Right. Yeah. Okay. He was at Ohio State. Never mind. McLaurin was Ohio State, not Ole Miss. But yeah, I think he's still the one. But the 2 on that team. I mean, Logan Thomas, if he returns healthy, maybe he contests for second on the team in catches. I know McKissick did it a couple of years ago with a lot of Alex Smith. So I don't know if that's the case, but
yeah,
Dotson could walk in there as the number 2 guy right off the bat.
All right, we got our selection for the Saints. And quarterback is still yet to be taken. They went Trevor Penning to help.
Yeah, I'm distracted right now. I'm going through the draft history trying to find the latest a quarterback's been taken for the first quarterback's been taken. So far, I found a 97, 26 overall. So we're getting there.
Yeah, this is
even EJ Manuel was higher than that. Okay,
yeah. EJ was
like 16. Yeah,
he was.
Oh wow,
first half.
Sorry, Jerry.
Yeah, that was awful. I mean, the next quarterback in that draft was Geno Smith, who could be.
So that's always still the funniest.
Or backing up Drew Lock.
The funniest part of draft day will always be when I think it's Gruden is on there comparing how Dan Marino fell and Rodgers fell, and then immediately to Geno Smith fell, right? Like comparing Geno Smith to those 2 legends. I always get a kick out of that. And yeah, maybe there's maybe that guy isn't so smart, to be honest. I think there's a lot to say that he isn't, but yeah.
So Trevor Penning, Saints get a offensive tackle to replace a couple
Armstead,
one tackle
right?
that they lost. Yeah, the one tackle that they lost this offseason. He, like I said, I mean, for the most part, it's Winston under center this year. They're starting to get some weapons. I mean, a lot of people have a little bit of hype on Adam Troutman going into his 3rd year now, as far as for tight ends. They got Michael Thomas. Hopefully coming back. I mean, there's no reason why health-wise he shouldn't be ready to come back. So it just depends on if he actually wants to play for them. Already drafted a wide receiver. And then even the fill-in wide receivers that they've had the last couple of years when Thomas was out and other injuries, they haven't been bad. So they definitely got some weapons on that offensive side of the ball. And now they're starting to get a little bit of protection there for Jameis and whoever the future is. Trevor Penning's going to be a day 1 starter.
Yeah, whether it's Jameis or somebody else, this is a good opportunity for any young quarterback to jump into now. I mean, they really, and I believe I had them taking a tackle at some point with one of their first-round picks here. After losing Armstead, it was really a necessity. They couldn't walk out of the first round without getting a guy to replace him. So it's a pick that makes sense. He's probably the best left on the board at this point. They took Olave earlier, so another weapon for Jameis. So, I'm a big fan of building a team and then finding your long-term solution at quarterback rather than throwing a young guy into a crappy situation. So whether it's Jameis or they end up taking somebody else later in this draft, it's definitely becoming a better situation there.
All right. So we had a little, before the Steelers pick comes in, we had a little a contest. Well, not we didn't have it. We're going to have a little contest. It was really going to be for the 21st pick, but kind of got behind. So what we're going to do, if anybody's watching, if we could, I don't know if we could tag anybody or not, or try to get it out there because I only show one person watching. If you can predict whoever the player is now, right now it's Minnesota because they traded out of that spot, or they traded into that spot with Detroit. But anybody who predicts the 32nd overall pick for tonight, the last pick of the first round, is going to be in a drawing for a unsigned jersey. And it was going to be for the New England pick because the jersey happens to be a Mac Jones jersey. I don't know if you got it available on you right now or not, or if you want to grab it, but that's up to you. But because it's already pretty much the Patriots pick right now, we're going to do it for the 32nd pick. So if you're watching, if you could predict the 32nd pick, anybody who says it is going to be put on basically a wheel spin to win that jersey. So if you predict the right player that goes at 32, you're going to be in the drawing. And that's all I got.
Heck yeah. Who'd you have? Oh, we had the same guy going at 32.
Well, they asked for Detroit for Ritter.
Yeah. Well, there goes that.
But, I mean, it still could happen. It's still Minnesota. They could use a quarterback.
Yeah, I'd be a little surprised if they went in that direction, but I mean, I've seen crazier. I've seen the Packers take Jordan Love.
Yeah. Don't. Kyle's a Packers fan.
Well, they did take Jordan Love, so that's
hey, just the fact.
It's funny because I totally brought up the EJ Manuel thing too. So thanks, Jerry. You're so generous.
Oh no! Did Phoenix win? Yes, they covered the spread too. Nice.
Yeah, I'm not so happy with the basketball results from tonight.
Dallas to win money line. Oh yeah, are you a Raptors fan?
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry about your loss.
Oh well. It was, was not necessarily expecting them to win the series. Although after the last two games, I kind of expected them to make the big awesome comeback.
They won more games than that Brooklyn Super team, though.
Yeah, that's true. We're almost the first team eliminated.
So I'm following somebody on Twitter right now that has been kind of spoiling picks, and I mean they've had the Steelers pick. He's not necessarily saying like so and so picks blank. He's actually just like saying the player's name. So I don't want to like go and kind of say it without actually knowing that it's correct. But I am getting the picks a little earlier than what they're showing on the stream. I don't know if you guys want me to start saying them or if you guys want me to wait until it's actually showing on the TV or what's up, because I don't want to be wrong,
Yeah, I think what Jeff's basically been doing. Well, I guess whoever's Ryan's source is seems to be pretty credible. So they've just been going whenever Ryan calls it out. But I'm going with basically the NFL.com list updating. It seems like that's maybe a little bit quicker than the TV, but
you seem to be filling time in between, so it's not like we have any dead air. So it's not.
Yeah, I think as long as you see anything official, just go with that.
Yeah, I got the stream on my laptop here, so.
Oh. NFL.com just updated it, so I've got it.
Is it Kenny Smallhands?
It is.
Kenny Smallhands, quarterback. Our first
is that an
quarterback.
Official nickname now?
I think so. Our first quarterback off the board, Kenny Pickett to the Steelers. So I guess the big question is it a open competition? Do we see Trubisky week 1? Do we see Pickett week 1? What do you guys think? And where does Pickett now? Where would you rank him along with the wide receivers in a super flex draft right now?
Well, I think the easy one there to answer is the competition, because I mean, even before Pickett, they were already saying Trubisky was going to compete with Mason Rudolph, right? Like, whereas that seems like that would be easily Trubisky would like should maybe not even have to be a competition, should just be given the job, right? So if they were going to make Trubisky compete against Rudolph, I think they're for sure going to make him compete against the rookie first overall or first round pick. So yeah, I definitely think it's open competition. Best guy wins. So that'll be, and like Tomlin seems like the coach that'll really just go with, he doesn't care that they just took Pickett in the first round. If Trubisky shows to be the better, they'll go with him for the season. So
obviously their first round quarterback since Big Ben. Semi-local kid. I mean, he played at Pittsburgh. I don't know if he's from Pittsburgh, but he played there. I know the fans are happy. Just looking at the reaction here, a lot of Pittsburgh fans are happy, but at the same time, they got a huge following, so they're all over the place. But and this has been a player that, whether Malik was there or not, He's been mocked there quite a few times. Seems like a lot of people in the Steelers brass and just overall wanted Kenny Pickett there as their quarterback, even if Willis was available. Jordan, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be an open competition. They're going to say that publicly. I would say that Trubisky gives them a better chance to win in the short term. And not to mention, I mean, that offensive line is still pretty pitiful. I mean, they were terrible last year. I don't know if I'd want to throw my long-term option in Kenny Pickett in there week 1. I think they'd probably roll with Trubisky, focus on offensive line next offseason. That's the approach that I personally would take. But if Kenny Pickett has a strong offseason, I wouldn't be surprised if he started either. But I mean, they have weapons there for him, with Najee, with Deontay, Chase Claypool. It's just that offensive under the radar, that offensive line was really bad last year. So that still concerns me a little bit. I'm in a super flex draft. I mean, being that he's a quarterback, he's probably going to be a top 5 or so pick. I mean, I'd still probably lean Breece Hall and whoever your top receiver is. So, you probably see him go 3-4, depending on where Malik Willis goes. But Patriots pick is in already too. We're rolling.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, unless they trade out, which they have been known to do.
I think they did trade out.
Yeah, to the Chiefs. Yep.
So it looks like the Chiefs are on the board.
And I don't think the Chiefs gave up either their other first 2 rounders. Looks like they still have 29 and 30. Unless
they
that
swapped.
hasn't been updated yet.
At the ticker on NFL Network NFL Network, they it shows that they swapped at 29.
Okay, it just hasn't been updated yet. But yeah, that's they probably. I mean, them and the Packers rumored for wide receivers, so probably gonna
jump in the Packers for wide receiver. You got to think that this is what it is. Christian Watson. Who else did we have out there?
George Pickens, maybe.
Which someone in the chat called, to be honest. Someone said Pickens to one of our Facebook viewers. And also, sorry, Gladys. I know I was surprised too. I think I would have loved to see Willis go to the Steelers.
Is Gladys a Steelers fan?
Yeah, and she really wanted Willis. And if him to fall and then not get him, that's got to be even worse almost. In terms
that Pickens, the Green Bay comment came a while ago, so I think I don't think that's the official pick. That was.
Oh no! I'm saying I'm just shouting out to the Facebook user who predicted that, which might be the case, right? Like that might end up happening, or that might be the guy that the Chiefs are getting. Maybe the Chiefs saw the feed and like, oh no, we can't let Green Bay get him.
I wouldn't be surprised if New England maybe jumps back into at 24, because I know me and Jordan both have in our mocks that both New England and Buffalo looking at cornerback. So they could be jumping back to 24 to jump over Buffalo for a corner. So they get what they get from KC in that swap, and then they use some ammo to jump back into where Dallas is to maybe steal that position. Would not be shocked there. But right now, KC the pick is in.
Here we go.
And it looks like it is. I don't know. Maybe it's not a wide receiver.
I mean, I guess Jermaine Johnson falling outside the top 20, that would be considered a fall for him.
That's the second time you forgot about him, Jordan.
Yeah, I was like, I just assumed he was going to go by now, so I keep forgetting that he's still there.
Well, I remember Foss was talking about him maybe going to the Ravens at 14. I wonder, did the Ravens just get him at 23? Like that'd be almost akin to what the Giants did in the top 10.
Now, unless there's a trade up, I'm looking at Tennessee and possibly Minnesota as the only 2 teams left on the bottom that could possibly use a quarterback. So do we think Willis is gone in round 1, or do we think somebody trades in?
The Packers are about to take Willis, aren't they?
Yeah. Somebody will trade in the first round to grab him, you'd have to think.
All right, come on, let's announce this pick so we can go. The guy that I'm following, he's saying McDuffie, cornerback. So we'll see if he's correct or not. So
yeah, that's what it looks like. Just came up on NFL.com. That definitely is not who I think the Packers were going to take. So that wasn't so much jumping the Packers. Maybe they were trying to jump the Ravens.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I could think of, because I mean it's a position that New England needs as well. So
or they were trying to jump the Bills and they couldn't. Like the Ravens wouldn't budge, the Cowboys wouldn't budge, the Packers wouldn't budge, so that they had to go all the way up to do it. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't. Where did you have McDuffie going in your draft, Jordan?
I had him going. I think it was what was the Cardinals' original pick? I had 23,
23,
24.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Baltimore for Hollywood Brown.
Yeah. So I mean, it makes sense for the Chiefs. I mean, everybody wants to talk receiver, but their secondary obviously was pretty horrendous last year. So it's definitely a pick of need for them. I mean, he's definitely the best corner on the board right now. So, I don't think, especially since we're getting into the territory where a few teams here are going to need a corner. I think it is a nice spot for the Packers, though. I think that don't necessarily have to take receiver, even though it's a huge position to need. I think there's enough value where they could use another edge rusher after losing some guys in free agency. So Jermaine Johnson, Carl Loftus, their options are pretty open here. It's a good spot for the Packers.
There's definitely going to be some droppers. I mean, it's not like there hasn't really been. I mean, there's been some surprising picks, but not really any that have kind of snuck in that we thought would go in the second. I guess the closest one would probably be Pickett. He was kind of on the fence between going in the first or second, so that would drop one person into the second so far. But other than that, I mean, we're kind of looking at a lot of the players that we thought would go. Obviously, Jermaine Johnson is still out there. Carl Aftis is still out there. A few corners are still out there with some corner needy teams coming up. But Green Bay is now on the clock unless they trade out. We've already talked a little bit about them, and all offseason it's been wide receiver, it's been offensive line. Any team, I don't care if you're the Rams and the Bucks, you could use some help on defense. So there's always defenders out there that could come in and step in right away. But Green Bay, this is going to be your portion right here, Kyle. If you want to kick it off, and once you get the pick, I'll let you announce it.
Okay, so yeah, to Jordan's point, yeah, Jermaine Johnson, I'd be happy with it as much as I would argue wide receiver is their biggest need. I still think that's get the best player available, and you can still probably get a decent enough receiver at the 28th pick. So having the 2 first rounders, it does give that luxury in a sense. You really should always be going best player anyway, but this probably helps it. So yeah, maybe Johnson's the pick. I don't know if there's any O lineman that they'd take here. Like I like Tyler Davis, like was I mentioned earlier, but I think this is still a little early for him.
Davis, yeah, I think he's more of a early second, so I guess he could sneak into the first. Did we get? We already had Zion go. Kenyon Green went.
Linderbaum is there, and
yeah,
I think
Linderbaum.
They did just take Josh Myers at center last year, but frankly,
you could play guard
probably
too,
play one of them. Yeah, exactly. One of them could play guard, so you just figure out who's the best center, and then the other guy's going to be a guard. And so I don't think Linderbaum being a center necessarily precludes that either.
Are you guys looking for more interior, or are you looking for a tackle?
I just think they need depth all across the offensive line. I think they've got 5 solid starters, certainly 4 solid starters. If you take a guy in the first round, maybe he becomes the right guard at some point. I know that I mentioned earlier the Elton Jenkins tearing his ACL last year. Does he recover right away? Is he going to play week 1? If so, he's probably at right tackle across from Bakhtiari. But if not, then that's why I kind of like Davis out of I think he's out of Iowa or Northern Iowa.
There's still the Tulsa kid too, Tyler Smith. He could.
Or that's what. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Honestly, I don't know why I was saying Davis. Sorry. Yeah, Tyler Smith.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what? Wow. Yeah, so I'm not so happy about this pick, to be honest.
So it's not a wide receiver, I'm guessing.
It's not a wide receiver. It's not Jermaine Johnson. It's not even an offensive lineman.
Is it Jordan's boy Carl Aftis?
No. Defense, though. Quay Walker, linebacker out of Georgia.
Ooh, not even the first linebacker off the board. Still got
I guess he is
Nakobe.
He's
the first.
Nakobe Dean. There was another guy
Devin
too that
Lloyd.
was expected. Yeah, Devin. Right. So neither of those guys to go with Quay Walker out of Georgia. So
that's one more linebacker that I had.
The team that never takes linebackers, even when you want them to take linebacker, finally decided to do it this year. I don't know. I don't like this pick, but we'll see. To be fair, Gutekunst, like Savage, the Savage pick they traded up for, not like everyone thought that was, he shouldn't have gone in the first round, even last year with Eric Stokes. So maybe he has a better eye on the defensive side. I kind of still think the Jordan Love pick was a mistake, but yeah.
So when do we get the news that Aaron Rodgers is retiring again? Because they didn't take a wide receiver.
Hey, they still have another pick.
Apparently the Bills moved up.
When pick 29 is on the board and they haven't taken a receiver, that's when we hear it.
They're on the clock right now, it looks like.
Yeah, who are the Bills trading up for, Jerry? To finally replace Josh Allen?
Yeah, hopefully. I think Malik Willis is still there. I'm not getting any of the news though, so I don't know what they gave up, or looks like it's a swap with they moved up from the second round. Or not the second round, but they moved up from beyond the first round because they got the Bills at 23 and 25.
I'm seeing the Ravens at 25 now, though.
Okay, the graphic I just showed on NFL. Okay, I show Baltimore on the scroll at the bottom, but on the graphic when they showed like the next 4 teams, it was Bills, Jets, Bills, and then the 4th team. So
yeah, it looks like they moved up 2, so I'm not sure how much it cost to move up 2.
Yeah,
interesting.
No, they had a couple later picks, later day 2 and late 3, multiple picks. So I'm assuming a couple of those went, but we'll see who they take here. There's still a few corners out there. Breece Hall, like I said, that's my Christmas wish list right there. If we could get Breece Hall, that would be pretty nice. And I don't know if either of you guys were in here when I mentioned it earlier, but that would especially some local leagues. I got 2 101s. Those draft picks, if they get Breece Hall, would be I could get basically whatever I want from the Homer fans there.
True, that's a good point. Yeah, know your league, right? So I'm assuming you traded for those, right? And you didn't earn them.
No, I earned them.
Okay, I tried.
Well, when you're in so many leagues,
you're giving him way too much credit.
There's bound to be some where you're
no, for sure. I earned the 101 in one league, and I traded for the 105. And what I decided to do, I guess this was even a couple weeks ago now, even a month ago, I just got out completely. Like I didn't feel like, team not really ready to compete, didn't want to waste Hall's prime years. I didn't really trust any of these quarterbacks, so I just traded the 101 and the 105 for Joe Burrow. I gave up a second to get Corey Davis as well. So
Superflex league.
Yeah.
I'm in a few. I think the one is just offensive players. It doesn't even have kickers and defense. So it's no Superflex and it's not IDP. And I have the 101 there. And the other one actually is not Superflex either, but it does have the kicker and defense and no IDP. So the only 2 that I have the 101 are just your straight standard rosters. So I mean, pretty much the board's wide open. I'm not like pressured to take a quarterback. But they are. It's going to be interesting to see where Hall lands first of all, because I think like going into today, even if it's not the Bills, I think Hall is my number 1, regardless.
Yeah, even in super flex formats, I think that's the case. But it certainly seems like that's an easy call to make in 1 QB leagues. But yeah, I'd be shocked. It'd have to be an awful landing spot for him not to be the 101 in almost all rookie drafts.
To be honest, really, I mean, unless it's like a team like Jacksonville who has James Robinson and Travis Etienne, that is an awful spot. But like a team that you wouldn't want a running back to go to, but would still get some opportunity, like Atlanta or Houston, I mean, those would be pretty decent spots if you were to land there. There's definitely, I mean, I guess there are some bad spots, like the teams that have like McCaffrey or Dalvin Cook. You wouldn't want them to go there, but a lot of like the bad teams that don't have that running back, it wouldn't be too bad, even if you definitely know that you get the volume.
Mm-hmm.
A Facebook
like the
user
Jets
said,
is maybe a bad offense, but he'd probably walk in as the number 1 guy right away. So
yeah, as a Carter guy, I don't want that to happen.
No, me neither. No, like Mike.
We had a Facebook user come in and say, "Oh, Jerry," so I don't know who that is.
I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. I'm checking.
Maybe they got you blocked.
Oh, in terms of I don't think we can see Facebook. Like we can't see people's names on Facebook. I think it's part of like a Facebook privacy thing. So they'll always come in as Facebook user. I meant my interpretation of Jerry was like the pick came in and it's like, oh boy, Jerry, you're not gonna like this one. But
I kind of got it. I haven't seen the pick, but I got it like there's a couple of group chats that I'm in. They know I'm Bills fan, so they said it already.
Who do you
Jordan
want
talk?
here, Jerry? Is it just Breece Hall?
No, I mean, from an actual team standpoint, I want a corner because I don't know when Trey White's coming back. And we also need a cornerback outside of Trey White, even when he is back. But as a fantasy guy, I want Breece Hall. And as another fantasy guy, I would have wanted Traylon Burks, but that's obviously not happening. Unless we trade. I'm guessing that the guy that's watching is I think that's Matt, because I know I mentioned that we were running that little jersey contest, so he said to tag him, which I didn't. But he knows both of us, so I think that's Matt.
Oh, good old Matt.
All right, come on. They need to hurry up with these damn picks.
Okay, I have the pick, but I'll be the gentleman and let Jerry announce it when he sees it.
What a guy.
What a nice gentleman. Looks like it's Elam. Is that? Yeah.
Yep.
Cornerback. So got the position. It's not the one that I mocked there, but it is. Damn it. Yeah, it's not the one that I mocked there, but his position that I wanted. Andrew Booth was the one that I originally had going there, but that was also at pick 25 with maybe another corner or two off the board. I did have another corner off the board because I had New England taking one before them. But definitely position that we need. Like we were talking about the Chargers, there's really not a lot of holes on Buffalo either. Singletary, he did come alive towards the end of the year and in the playoffs, so it's not like we desperately needed a running back. And with no running backs going so far, there's still the top three that's still out there, and possibly could move back up and get one if we absolutely wanted to go that way. But definitely needed a corner. Elam, highly ranked out of Florida, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, you at least have to applaud them for going after their number one, position of need. You mentioned it. They don't have a ton of holes. I mean, it wouldn't have made a ton of sense for them to trade up for Breece Hall, but I mean, they're looking at a point now where they can probably snag one of the top running backs in this class in a later round here because, looking up and down their roster, there's not really we have to go out and grab this. They really filled their number one position of need now.
Yeah, they brought in, just going to the offseason, offensive line was a little bit of a hole, and defensive line, just getting the defensive line to gel together, because over the past couple of drafts, they've taken a few defensive linemen, but getting Von Miller and having the other defensive line kind of stepping up with Epinesa and Rousseau and Basham, hopefully they could all step up. And like I said, the only hole really was corner. They don't really run a traditional 4-3 or 3-4, so they pretty much only have Tremaine Edmonds and Milano on the field for linebackers. So it's like a 4-2-5 more so that they run. So they definitely need the secondary help.
So if you're whoever is speaking to us, they're saying Singletary RB1. I think it's response to Jordan, you saying they might take an RB late. I think if they I don't know, outside of Hall and maybe Kenneth Walker, I don't know if there's any running backs that are coming in there and immediately replacing Singletary at the top of the depth chart. I think they're more trying to replace Zach Moss more than anything. They want the backup behind Singletary. But I think if they go in the third round for running back, that player is not usurping Singletary. So I think he's still the RB1 there, which maybe that's my wishful thinking. I've got a ton of Singletary shares, so
it's gonna be interesting how the running back room looks, even after, not necessarily just after the draft, but going into the season too, because Moss he kind of fell out of favor in a few games last year. He was a healthy scratch for some games. He was hurt a little bit, healthy scratch for a little bit. And then I looked up the stat lines in the last 3 games of the season, not playoffs. The last 3 games of the season, he only had like a total of 11 carries total. So it's like they just kind of didn't go in his direction anymore. And then this year they brought in Duke Johnson for more of the third down work, the passing down work. So they might just be comfortable with Singletary as the 1 and 2 guy, and then Duke Johnson on third down. And because I've seen a lot of stuff about Kenneth Walker not really being a big third down guy. He doesn't catch a lot of balls, not really good in pass pro. So if that's what they're trying to do to be a compliment to Singletary, Walker really wouldn't be the way to go there. And Hall would kind of just replace Singletary. So maybe they don't go in that direction.
because I guess with Singletary, like he can catch passes, but I think last year he really proved he can be the short yardage goal line guy, and the touchdown upside sort of started to show there. That's not something he had ever really shown in his career, and I think that was like seems like Moss projects more of that and was certainly given those opportunities. So maybe that was what they envisioned, and maybe even the Bills are a little surprised on how well Singletary's developed in that regard.
Without adding anything else to the roster, inside the 5, you got 3 weapons that could run it in between Josh Allen, Devin Singletary, and then Isaiah McKenzie on a jet sweep. So they really don't need to go in a running direction. Looks like Dallas is up on the clock now. They kept their 24th overall pick. I've been a couple mocks that I've seen and just some readings that I've done. Wide receiver could be the pick here, especially with them shipping out Amari Cooper, and Gallup might not be ready. So right now, and also they lost Cedric Wilson to Miami. So they're really going into the season right now with Schultz at tight end and CeeDee Lamb. So they could be going wide receiver here. I mean, their defense was top. It was towards the top last year. I know Diggs gave up a lot of yardage and and a few touchdowns, but he did have double-digit interceptions. Their secondary is pretty solid. Their linebackers are pretty good. I mean, if they grab somebody on defense, it could be Jermaine Johnson. They could use the edge help, but it doesn't have to be. I think it's going to be on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I would lean towards an edge guy here. I think it's a position of need after losing Randy Gregory. So, I mean, you got some good value picks here too. So if they're looking at best available and it fills a position where they could use some depth, I mean, edge makes a lot of sense. No love for Michael Gallup, by the way, Jerry. I don't like that disrespect, but
I said he might not. We don't know when he's going to be ready.
All right, but
he came out. He had a late season ACL.
He'll be ready. But yeah, so I mean, I think edge makes the most sense here, but
it's a good point. I could also see them going, do they take Linderbaum? I mean, maybe this is the Travis Frederick replacement a couple of years later. Yep. And they try to, I think Frederick was the last time they took an offense, or no, I guess Zach Martin, 2014 was the last time they took an offensive lineman in the first round.
Yeah, O-line wouldn't be a bad way to go either. I mean, we've definitely seen not necessarily. I don't know if you could really call it a struggle because he was still a top half running back. I guess it was a struggle based on where we're used to seeing him finish. But with Zeke, they definitely need some more offensive line help to get him back in the groove, and especially if they're shipping out guys like Amari Cooper just because Zeke has that contract, they're going to have to use him and play him. So I definitely wouldn't be surprised if it's offensive line and somebody they could step in and open up some holes for him either.
Yeah, Travis Frederick left a huge hole. Oh, offensive line.
Yep.
Who is it? You got it?
Yeah, Tyler Smith.
Tyler Smith, the Tulsa kid. All right, so he's not going to Green Bay.
No,
but they also didn't grab a quarterback, so you got to be happy there, right?
Oh, me with Walker? Well, I also have a lot of Dak Prescott here, so maybe good that the Cowboys didn't take.
No. I was talking about Green Bay didn't take. Green Bay's not getting Smith, obviously, with their next pick. That was the offensive line.
Although at this point, I think I was kind of almost more hoping for receiver than Smith, to be honest.
Kind of has to be now. All right, we got Baltimore up next.
They might go receiver, just looking to replace Marquise Brown now, to be honest.
They lost Brown. They lost who did they just cut not too long ago? Not Duvernay.
Miles Boykin.
Boykin,
to the Steelers. Yeah, good call. I forgot about that.
But they got Rashad Bateman, which would be. Please don't be awake. They got Rashad Bateman, which would be a nice. His value should go up. I know I'm high on him. I know Jordan's a little high on him. We're in the same Superflex Dynasty league together, and we were both kind of just sending the same person some offers for Bateman. I ended up winning the bid, so I got Bateman on my team now, and it's looking even better now with Hollywood not there. Hopefully Lamar comes back and is a lot stronger and better with the football this year. I mean, he's still going to run, still going to be close to 1,000 rushing yards, but I think they're going to allow him to throw a little bit more, kind of protect his body a little bit more, which would definitely guys like Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman and possibly if they take somebody here at 25, could definitely have some big years and big careers. Because I don't think they want him taking all these hits. he's already missed some time with some injury and had some nasty bowel movements in the last couple of years.
Honestly, I won a playoff game on that. I think I won by like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, whatever it was, like point with a fraction of a point. And
because he missed.
They had Jackson. I thought for sure I was going to lose, and I remember I like destroyed my opponents in the semifinal and final afterwards, but like would not have happened if I didn't like eke out that victory. I'm curious what you gave up for Bateman. Just curious what won the bid over Jordan.
I don't know what Jordan offered. It's on Sleeper, so I can actually go tell you because they.
I was like, which league is that, Jerry? We're in so many.
Yeah, that was that was the Dynastyist Maximus.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
So I traded. So it's a super flex, but I traded Odell. This was back in November 12th, so he would have been with the Rams at the time. Kind of just getting his groove though. I don't think he was fully. I don't know when he started to come along, but I traded Odell, Jameis, who was obviously tied up with the injury, and the 2022 fourth, and I got Cobb, Bateman, and the 2022 third. So I moved up in the draft, got Bateman, arguably got the better wide receiver. I got the better draft pick, and so I basically got Cobb for Jameis, if you want to look at it like that.
Oh, sorry, you got the. I thought you. Sorry, what were the picks again?
I got a third. They got a fourth.
Oh, okay. I heard that as a second. Okay, no, that's I think if you, because I'd argue even if it's super flex, we think Winston's the starter, but how much long term stability does he have? I'd imagine his value is probably not better than Bateman, right? So Bateman's probably still the most valuable piece in the draft.
I would say. I mean. Even if it's not with the Saints, I think Jameis probably has a couple more starting years. Maybe as like just a journeyman guy who just bounces around from team to team. I mean, we know like the Colts like to recycle quarterbacks and bring them in, so maybe he's with the Colts next year. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a little bit more value with Jameis in that league, but it's not like I desperately needed him and I really wanted Bateman, so I had to throw in something that was going to make them say yes as opposed to just trying to lowball them. And a quarterback in a super flex league definitely helps the value, regardless of who it is.
I mean, I like that deal overall for you. I mean, I think you're getting the most upside in the deal too. If Bateman lives up to the potential that he has. If I'm remembering, I think the deal breaker was that other team was looking for a QB. And I think I have a collection of young ones in that one. I think I have Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, and Jalen Hurts. And I didn't really want to move one of them for Bateman. So I think that was kind of the deal breaker there.
I'm definitely a little light on the quarterback front because obviously for bye weeks, I'm going to be an injury if they happen. But I got Josh Allen and Matt Ryan, which are fine. But then I got Big Ben, who is not on the team anymore, and Teddy Bridgewater, who I need to hopefully replace Tua by the time bye weeks start.
It's funny. I have also a sparse kind of quarterback team where it's like just enough to get by that did trade away Winston and it was Josh Allen and Ryan Tannehill instead of Matt Ryan. But yeah, I've kind of got that same dilemma. I think I've got Jared Goff, Tyrod Taylor, and neither of them might be starting. So maybe a little safer for Goff now. Now that the Lions have traded away those picks. So
yeah, actually, I don't know when they.
I think I've got to trade out for Goff. Giving up Goff for a second. I think I'm going to go remove that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have Goff. All right, okay, so yeah, no panic. Ravens still haven't picked. At least I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I show about 2 minutes left, but again, I am streaming. I don't know. I assume most of the world is streaming, but I was watching it on cable, so which was a little faster. But now that I'm out here on my laptop, I am streaming, so it is a little behind.
Actually, just real quick, Jerry, what was the receiver you gave up again? It was Winston the fourth you gave up. What was the other piece? Sorry.
That's a good question. Oh, Odell.
Right, yeah. I mean, Odell, upside, coming off the ACL, tough to see, like, that upside truly being, like, that much better than what Bateman has, and then you get all the extra years on Bateman. So, yeah, no, I think, Bateman's the best piece in the deal, and, like you said, you got the better draft pick, so, I mean, if it's only a bump up from the fourth to the third, at least you didn't have to give up draft capital of any significance to get Bateman. So
Yeah, one thing I like to do whenever I'm making a trade, and sometimes it does burn me, is like if I have somebody offering me something, and even if I like it, I'm gonna counter with trying to get at least a draft pick. And so I think that's what I did here was like they might have made the initial offer and I countered and I was like, throw in this draft pick and we got a deal or something like that. I don't remember how the conversation went. But I'm always going to try to get an additional draft pick. And if they're close, they'll either contact me or maybe counter again. If they're not, they'll just decline it. But I'm always going to try for that extra pick. So if it's a 2 for 3, it's going to be a 3 for 3 or something like that. But it's definitely something that I try to do in every single dynasty trade.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no reason not to. Most people are going to throw you a 4th, 3rd round rookie pick really without hesitation if they want your guys that badly. So. And
then I get stuck in leagues where the benches are kind of short and my whole taxi is filled and my IR was filled from last year and I got to cut 4 guys that could be starters on other teams.
Well, and I think the game theory on draft picks is, especially this year, like it was easy because everyone values the 23 pick. So if you're going to get any pick thrown in before like your rookie draft, you don't want the 22 picks thrown in. You want the 23 picks thrown in, right? So that's an easy decision to make. But maybe structurally for your team, it's also smarter because you're not having to make those decisions now. I don't have to draft this player right now within the, assuming most rookie drafts are happening within the next month, and tie myself to that player and everything suddenly being that player, right? Like there's not. What you really want to do with those late picks is hoard them for the next season and then in season use them to trade for the players you want. I find that's kind of what I'm maybe gearing towards. So I've got leagues where you're just hoarding up those 23 thirds, not really intending to make them. Try and use as much as you can on the teams that are competing now to help as those win now pieces. So then that also prevents what you're saying, Jerry, that you stockpile all this, but then you have to make tough cut decisions. So if you consolidate all of that into trades when you need it most, which would actually be in season, that's what I'm kind of starting to like to do. So it'll be a lot cheaper to do it next year when you can, everyone will be so crazy about the 23 picks that buying, you'll be able to get 24 thirds and maybe even 24 seconds kind of just thrown into a lot of trades. And that'll be great for those 23 runs to just like use those 24 picks during the 2023 season to help win titles.
Yeah, Dynasty is definitely a different ball game. It's definitely fun. The Ravens pick is in. The AFC North has another baby arms, Tyler Linderbaum.
Just a theme here now.
Yeah. Just everybody in the AFC North is picking baby arms, but he's
I
versatile.
like that better than Walker, to be honest, for the Packers. So good.
He's a versatile interior offensive lineman. He's strong. He could play. I mean, I guess I'm kind of repeating myself by saying that he could play guard. He could play center. With a team like the Ravens who like to run the ball pretty much. Now last year they didn't because they had a lot of injuries. Philly, I think, was the highest running team, but Baltimore likes to run the ball. Their offensive line is definitely going to be used and utilized and needed. So he's definitely a great pick he'd be a great pick for any team, but Baltimore it's nice that they got him. And hopefully
I think they could use the center, to be honest. So I imagine he will be the center for them. I don't know.
Yeah, they've had I know they've had a couple of retirees and a couple guys left in free agency, but I don't.
Matt Skura, I think was his name. That like he was the main center during Jackson's really big season. It seems like anytime he's been hurt, they haven't had anyone kind of step in and do that well. So if it gives them depth at center, or even like a backup option where you can move a guard over and play center like that, I think that's a smart pick. And the Jets have traded up. Sorry, Jordan.
Oh yeah, that's all right. I was just gonna mention that too. That's the Jets. Actually, I think I had them taking an edge earlier. You have a few good options. I'd imagine that's what they would be trading.
This would be their 3rd pick in this round because they didn't trade 4 and they didn't trade 10. So they're trading back into the first round with this pick at number 26. Already took a wide receiver. Already took a cornerback. So edge could be the player here. I mean, Jermaine Johnson is still out there.
That's what I imagine. Like, I don't think I feel like they're not just trading up to trade up. They're going for a specific guy. Like, okay, we can't believe he's fallen this far, kind of thing. So I'd imagine this is Jermaine Johnson.
And that's it. This AFC East is getting it's between the moves that Miami made, between the draft that the Jets are having so far. Obviously, it's going to depend a little bit on what this pick is, but really, there's a lot still out there. So even if it's not Johnson, the Jets have a lot of holes regardless. So they're whoever it is probably we're going to see him on day one anyways. But so 3 first-round picks here that are all going to be day one starters. Miami's making a lot of moves. The Bills have gotten better just with filling the holes that they had, and and then the Patriots. But they this AFC East is starting to get a little tougher. I'm not at the point to where I'm worried yet. I don't think that Miami and the Jets are up there just yet, but if they continue to make these kind of moves and continue to improve, it's going to be a fun division to watch over the next 5 years.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's been a division for a long time that hasn't been overly competitive, whether it was the Patriots dominating, it looked like it was trending in that direction with the Bills. So, I mean, it should at least be an intriguing division, if anything else. I mean, I don't really think there's a chance the Bills don't win it, but it at least makes it more interesting, which is all that
Well,
you ask
Miami,
for.
we saw Miami's defense was good a couple years ago. They kind of took a step back last year, but they really didn't lose a lot. Their offense is kind of held back by Tua, but if Tua can take that next step, they have weapons on offense outside of running back. But they brought in Chase Edmonds, so even then they still have I guess they do have weapons at running back too. I mean, so basically it's if Tua could take that next step, they very well could be fighting with the Bills until week 10 or 11, and then maybe they drop off or whatever. But it'll be interesting to see how they handle the season, because they could be ready to compete just this year.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is dependent on Tua's development. I mean, you could say the same about the Jets. They're filling a lot of holes, adding talent. So Zach Wilson's able to show some promise. That's going to be a big piece of whether or not they put it together.
Let's see, do they get Zach Wilson another weapon, or are they going on the defensive side of the ball?
I
There he is.
Jermaine Johnson. Yeah.
Jermaine Johnson, edge rusher, going to be chasing around Josh Allen, Tua, and Mac Jones for years now.
Gardner, Johnson, and Wilson. I mean, those were all probably, I'm sure a lot of people at mock drafts and boards had all three in the top 15, top 20. So for the Jets to get three of those guys, I don't know. I think the New York teams both did pretty well with this draft, to be honest.
Yeah. The Giants had a pretty good draft too. But yeah, Jermaine Johnson was probably
first round.
Jermaine Johnson was probably most at the worst. He was people's fourth defensive end. Sauce was people's 1 or 2 corner. And then Wilson was, I've seen him as high as people's number 2, even number 1 wide receiver. So they definitely had a nice little haul here, and they still got 2 more days of draft picks to go.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Jermaine Johnson sneaking into the top 10 quite a bit. So depending on the mock you were looking at, you had 3 top 10 prospects there.
Yeah,
that's true.
Good haul for them. Still not worried about them.
The Buccaneers trade out of the first round.
Buccaneers trade out. The only one way that I had them going to, they were another one of those teams where they really didn't need a lot of help. Brought back Lenny. They got Russell Gage for wide receivers, so kind of replaces Antonio Brown and kind of is a filler for Godwin until he's back. They did lose, tight end, but there's really no tight end worthy first round picks here. They can still grab one later, or they could convince, or maybe Gronk's just playing I don't want to do off season stuff. I'll be around in September. The only position that I could see them going would have been edge, which Carl Aftis is still out there. But moving down now, as of right now, they have the first pick in the second round. They swap with Jacksonville, which they could still get an edge rusher. But it's definitely we'll see what Jacksonville's looking to do here, because Tampa, there's still a couple edge rushers out there, and that's where I thought that they were going to go.
Carl Aftis might fall to them too. Like, he might go out of the first round. He might be the surprising fall guy.
Yeah, there's still him, and I know, who did I have at damn it, where did he go?
And then there's the guy that got hurt. Oh geez, I can't think of his name.
I can't say his last name, but I had Arnold Ebikiti, edge rusher.
Okay.
For Tampa.
I think Elijah.
Oh yeah, the guy from Michigan.
Right. So who knows? It seems like he was going to be a top 15 pick, but we'll see how far the injury forces him to fall.
Yeah, it's tricky with him to. I don't know if we were still talking about Tampa or not, but like him going to Tampa, I don't know if it makes a lot of sense because it seems like with Brady just going year by year, he that player edge rusher wouldn't be ready for the start of the season. It doesn't seem like a player that's really going to be ready to help them right now. And that's pretty much where Tampa's at right now. Obviously, they don't want to just go one and done or just win another one and then go back to the basement. But they're trying to get players that are going to help them win a Super Bowl in 2022, as opposed to trying to build for the future. So I don't know if I could really see him going to Tampa.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Let's see. There's Jordan. Let me bring him back in. Where'd you
Kicked
go?
me out.
All right. No picks have happened since you decided to leave us.
I missed all the excitement then.
Oh, look at that. The Jaguars are slow at the times and always behind. Oh no.
But the Jags have moved. Were you here when the Jags moved up?
Yeah, I saw it on my screen here.
The Jags moved up. It would be so awesome to be in Vegas right now.
We should have went. We should have done a little live draft coverage.
You know how
Bet
like
on it in Vegas, right? Like that
Yeah,
was
that's
perfect
sick.
for you guys.
we're so far behind the times that like I actually thought the draft was in Cleveland this year. It was in Cleveland last year, wasn't it?
I believe, yeah. Last
Yeah,
year was
so I
Cleveland.
was like-
Next year is Detroit, right?
So I was
I think
actually
next
looking
year's
up.
Detroit, yeah.
I was looking it up and I was like, man, I'm off. I should drive to Cleveland for the draft. And then I see that it's in Vegas. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not driving to Cleveland for the draft.
Wow, there's no lineup. This is amazing.
I could drive to Cleveland for the draft and I'd be hanging out at a Browns draft party. That's about it.
That sounds terrible.
Which
Yeah,
I
'cause they don't
guess,
have
yeah,
a first
especially
round
since they
pick
don't have a
either.
first round pick. That must be a fun party.
Where's
they're still
everybody
probably
at?
partying.
Yeah,
Like
Vegas.
the Rams with Matt Stafford, right? Yeah, we already made our first round pick.
Vegas is it's popping right now. That would be awesome to be there. And it's still early being over in that West Coast time.
Yeah, they said 100,000 people were at the draft.
Yeah, 100,000 COVID tests tomorrow. What do we think here? They already went edge rusher in the first, or with the first overall pick. They still need, outside of quarterback, they still need everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of their big needs was potentially linebacker. I mean, I know one went off the board, but most people's top two linebackers are still on the board here.
Yep.
So I think it would make sense to go Lloyd or Dean here.
That's a good point. Was it Trayvon Smith, right? They used to have like there's that true like sideline to sideline guy with speed. So they, in a sense, they were kind of almost ahead of the curve with the new age linebackers, but now they don't have him anymore. So
Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, the Jags are another one of those teams where, yeah, they do need a lot, but that division it's on the weaker end. So any of those four teams in the division really can, well, maybe not Houston. So any of those three teams in that division can potentially make a run and sneak in as like the fourth playoff team because of the division. Or I don't think any of them's winning that seventh wild card. They're not going to be that. There's only going to be one team from that division. But as of right now, with all the mileage on Derrick Henry and Tannehill kind of just going down since the big year that he had a couple years ago. They already lost AJ Brown to the Colts. They brought in Matt Ryan, so they seem to be the favorite right now. But which Matt Ryan do we get? He didn't look too great last year, but at the same time, Atlanta didn't have a good offensive line. It didn't have any weapons to throw to. So, which the Colts really don't have any weapons to throw to either outside of Michael Pittman. But they have one of the best running backs in the league with Jonathan Taylor. So he does have a little bit more help there. And then Jacksonville, who spent a lot of money in the offseason so far. They had the number one overall pick. They're picking again in the first round now. Starting to put a little bit of a team together, even though they have so many holes and they just seem to be just not all there. They could be, I don't want to call them scary, but in that division, they can definitely be competitive, I think.
no, I get what you're saying. I still think the Titans. I still view the Titans as the favorite in that division personally, but I also don't have as much faith in Matt Ryan, maybe as most. I have more faith in Ryan Tannehill, to be honest.
Just
Maybe
don't
that's
let him go up
just
28-3.
Yeah. So Yeah, I think you're right though. That could go any way. I mean, it's strange to think the Titans were the number 1 seed last year in the AFC. A lot of good it did them, but probably not going to be the case this year.
Like I said, I'm not ready to hand the crown over to the Jags, but let's just say there's always a surprise team. I think this might be like the Bengals last year. This might be the team that maybe they get blown out in the wild card round, but I think they could be a team that possibly could make it to the wild card round by winning their division.
Did you just predict they're going to the Super Bowl, Jerry?
At 10-7 or 9-8 win the division there. No, I said they're going to get blown out in the wild card round.
Said they're like the Bengals, so that's what I heard. No, I see what you're saying too. I mean, I think especially with Doug Peterson, and it is Devin Lloyd to the Jaguars.
Good call.
Yeah, that's a good play too.
Yeah, no, that's a big position to need for. I mean, they signed a 1 linebacker this offseason, but that'll give them another guy. But yeah, I mean, I see what you're coming from. I think Doug Peterson's going to have them playing hard, and they'll at least be competitive. I mean, and a team like this that's been bad for a good number of years, I mean, I think they're just looking to take steps every year. If Trevor Lawrence shows promise this year, their offensive line should be better. If he shows some connection with his new weapons, I think there's at least, they could be a team that wins 6 games, which for them is progress.
Yeah. They won't be picking first overall again.
I don't think they will be.
3 years in a row? Oh, boy.
Starting to turn into the Oilers of the football. But yeah, Devin Lloyd, a lot of people's number 1 linebacker in this draft. Like you said, they brought in another linebacker. I can't pronounce his name, but it's the dude from Atlanta who had a bunch of tackles. They brought in a lot of weapons on offense too. Not the greatest weapons, but they still brought in weapons between Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram, giving Trevor Lawrence some weapons to throw to. Hopefully, I mean, Travis Etienne should be back for the first time. Have James Robinson there still too, so got a nice 1-2 punch in the backfield. I don't see
Robinson are injured though, right? So that might be a little late.
Oh yeah, he's got the Achilles, doesn't he? So that's a long injury. Okay, so maybe Travis Etienne will just take over right away.
Chenault's still there. They still have Dan Arnold at tight end. So if let's say Ingram isn't working out, they still do have another option as well.
So they could be
Marvin Jones still too.
Yep.
No, did he? I thought he went somewhere else. Maybe they got him.
I think he's still kicking there.
No, they lost Chark.
Yeah, that's to the Lions.
Packers pick
which Marvin Jones' former team. Funny enough, I never thought of that.
But yeah, they're not going to be. They won't be great, but I think they'll be a nice little fun team to watch. They're gonna have some excitement. It might take a little bit of time for this defense to kind of get together, and they have the second best Josh Allen in the league. So how can you argue with that? But the one game that they played the Bills, they had the best Josh Allen in the league.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right. Yeah.
Oof. All right, so we got Green Bay on the clock.
Yep,
George Pickens, baby. Come on.
That'd be nice. Add another. So let's hypothesize right now. If George Pickens is taken here with Aaron Rodgers, where does he slot in with the other 6 wide receivers?
I was thinking about that. To me, I think he's in the same tier as Olave and Williams. He might be the guy at the top of that tier. So I'd probably say wide receiver 4. Okay. Just because I did have Pickens as wide receiver 6 before this. So like to me, that's only moving up 2 spots. So that doesn't seem like that's too crazy of an overreaction.
Depending on your league mates and like how deep they are into Dynasty, because I play in a couple of casual Dynasty leagues too. So we got a couple of hardcore ones, me and Jordan, then we got some casual ones. You're looking at the draft board and you're seeing Pickens catching balls from Rodgers, or you're seeing Drake London catching balls from Mariota. I can see Pickens going a little earlier in some of those drafts too, like your casual Dynasty leagues, just because of who he's catching balls from and the offense, and knowing, hey, they lost Devontae Adams, maybe this guy's going to come in and kind of take over. So that's, I mean, you could pretty much go any way here, but the pick is in. We don't know if it's Pickens yet, just assuming, but it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, Pickens has a ton of upside. I mean, before the injury concerns, this was a guy, a year or 2 ago, people were talking about potentially being a number 1 wide receiver in this class, or at least one of the top few. So he slid down a little bit, but he's got that upside. And I mean, if he did go to the Packers, he would be probably one of the biggest risers and rookie drafts immediately. I mean, it's probably a guy a lot of people were predicting to go late first, early second, and a lot of rookie drafts depending on landing spot. But you could see him realistically, depending on team needs and whether they're trying to compete now or they have some time. He could be a top 6 pick, I think.
Yeah, it's we'll see if he goes here. Whether he goes here or not, I do have a dynasty question, but we'll wait for the pick first, and then we'll get to the question, and we can talk about that for a little bit. But
I was going to say at some point we gotta have to talk about too Malik Willis and who potentially could trade up here for him because he's still hanging out around there.
yeah, we're running out of teams now that potentially need a quarterback. The only one as of right now that's in the first is Minnesota, but again, they still have Cousins there. I think they re-upped him for a couple years too, so it's not like he's going away anytime soon. Coming up after that, I mean Tampa at the beginning of round 2. Not that he would start over Brady, but somebody just kind of replace Brady in the next 5 years when he finally retires. Tennessee is coming up in round 2. The Giants are coming up in round 2. Houston, I know we're all on the Davis Mills train, but they're coming up. And then Seattle has back-to-back picks. So if he doesn't go in these next 4 picks, I think he's definitely going to be gone early tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, the Seattle has 2 very early seconds. I mean, they could theoretically package those picks to trade up into this round and sneak it too.
But we got Green Bay now, which the pick is in. Just haven't seen it yet. New England next, which I think we were all thinking. Well, at least I was thinking corner, possibly wide receiver, but that may have went out the window with them picking up Devontae Parker. Kansas City, possible another wide receiver there. Cincinnati, I think defensive back is probably the way to go there, unless they find an offensive lineman that they like. But they have done a lot of help there on the offensive line. And then Minnesota. Originally, I think I had defensive back there too. So we could possibly see 2 or 3 defensive backs go in these next couple picks if nobody trades out.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about the Bengals, but they have some flexibility there. I think they could potentially trade out.
Who's this stooge? Whitworth?
Stooge, come on.
What is he doing? He doesn't play for the Packers.
He's the man of the year.
Yeah, well, he could be the man of the year picking for the Rams pick in 2026.
Well, never. Is he signing with the Packers? Is he coming out of retirement to join the Packers? I'd be okay.
Yeah, that's the big announcement.
Yeah. With the 28th pick, the Packers are choosing me. I'm back for another 10 years, baby.
Packers like, we still want our rookie pick, though. Please don't pick yourself. Please actually make our selection.
All right, this clock ran out already. What's going on?
It's funny because I'm already seeing the Patriots pick is in, but the Packers pick is also in, but without saying who it is. So
the Patriots didn't move down, huh? They stayed at 29.
They have to pick eventually, right? You can't just keep trading down.
Okay, well they did pick. It's not a receiver.
Not a receiver.
That streak of Packers not taking receivers in the first round continues. Not O-line.
Okay.
But defensive line, Devontae Wyatt.
Wyatt. Defensive tackle, the other guy from Georgia.
I know, 2 Georgia picks.
Georgia everywhere.
Definitely going with the helmet there.
Trying to get well, they do have Sammy Watkins, so
I would have liked Pickens, to be honest. I wanted the other Georgia guy. But I will say I like this pick better than Walker. Just because I felt if there was maybe there was 2 starting spots in the defense that could maybe use an upgrade. One is the nickel corner, and the other one is just a defensive lineman next to Kenny Clark.
Yeah.
Dean Lowry, Tyler Lancaster, TJ Slayton, those guys are all good, but to pair Wyatt with Clark, I think it really helps the run defense, but could also help the interior pass rush as well. So
this is a good pick. I mean, it's not ones that Rodgers fans are going to like. It's not ones fantasy guys are going to like, but overall, it's a good pick. He was the defensive tackle 2 on the board behind Jordan Davis. He
might have been defensive tackle 1 before the combine, right? Like Davis probably only maybe surpassed him because of how he one of the biggest athletic freaks we've seen.
That whole Georgia front 7 even was. I mean, they're all going to get drafted. 3 of them are already gone. But yeah, it's overall it's a good pick. It's a good football pick. Like I said, being that a lot of us are more fantasy oriented, it kind of stinks. But as far as especially trying to get a guy that could play with Aaron Rodgers, but if you're a Packers fan, football fan, Georgia fan, whatever, it's a good pick. So.
Well, speaking of Packers fan, I know my Full Press Packers podcast co-host Jesse Hall, he and I were talking, and he doesn't like Karlaftis at all. So I think it seems like he's probably the best edge rusher. So if you're gonna address either the interior pass rush or the outside pass rush, it seems like we want to take the best player that could fit either of those. It seems like Wyatt is the best player out of that. Now, did they go? They could have maybe gone again receiver, O-line, maybe a defensive back, again trying to find a safety who could play that nickel corner spot. But ultimately, I like the Wyatt pick. Not so sold on the Walker pick, but we'll see.
So the Patriots are up. Their pick is in, and I forgot what my question was going to be.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I'm curious to this dynasty question. Does it have to do with Pickens and the receivers, rookie receivers at all?
Oh yeah, it did have to do with the receivers. So back-to-back years, 2020 and 2021, we saw a rookie wide receiver in fantasy finish in the top 10. Justin Jefferson in 2020, Jamar Chase 2021. Of the 6 that we've seen already, or even George Pickens if he lands somewhere, do we think that streak continues this year?
No. Again, if I'm pointing at anyone, it's probably Drake London for the opportunity. Top 10 seems tough.
Yeah, I think what Jefferson did it on the back of 1,400 yards, and I don't think he wasn't double-digit touchdowns. Was he? He was like 8 or 9, and then
I don't think he's still gotten. I think even through 2 years doesn't have a double-digit touchdown.
And then Jamar did it on a bunch of yards, and I think he did hit double-digit touchdowns.
They were I know Jefferson and Chase are both top 5 last year too. So they're not
depending on the score. And the one that I looked up was, I think Jefferson was 6 in his year, and then Chase was 7 in his year.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, depending on the scoring too,
with top 10 definitely for both.
Definitely in the top 10.
I think that we're a little spoiled. I don't know. Even to what Jalen Waddle did last year, I'm not sure London might be able to duplicate that.
Yeah. He did it on the back of a bunch of receptions too. I don't know if London's really going to be a reception guy.
Yeah, I think Waddle had 140 targets. So tough to just assume you're going to get that as a rookie.
With my pre-draft prediction, regardless of the team, was Treylon Burks was going to continue the trend. I don't know if I could really say that anymore, because not that I hate where Burks landed, but it's the offense doesn't really allow for a top 10 finish. I mean, AJ Brown was close. He was kind of on the edge, being in that offense, but AJ Brown is a monster of a man. So I don't think that, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd probably still say Burks, but I'd be a little less comfortable saying Burks as opposed to Jefferson and Chase the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, London definitely has the best opportunity. I mean, I'll go back to, what quarterback would, be able to produce a top 10 receiver for, one of these rookies. And, I mean, I'm a big Garrett Wilson guy. So if Zach Wilson took a huge step forward and that was this guy, I mean, you never know, but I don't see it being likely.
All right, we got the Patriots on the clock. Said it a couple times already. Their biggest need to me is cornerback. They lost just over the past calendar year. They lost Stephon Gilmore and J.C. Jackson. So I think that's the way that they got to go there.
Yeah, they like versatility. I mean, I could see a guy like Daxton Hill here, can play more safety, move around to the outside, inside corner. So I think a guy like that is typically somebody that they covet. So I think that would make sense for him here.
But they could also offensive line could be a position.
Could also trade down again. No.
No, they can't. The pick is in.
Well, but I mean, I guess you're right. Yeah, the pick is in. But that again, that is seem like a prime candidate for someone to come up and get Willis. So time's running out there.
Time's running out for Willis. That 5th-year option. These last couple picks, the 5th-year option is still out there. I mean,
what a strange pick.
I don't see it yet.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I was gonna say offensive line too, because they lost a couple this offseason.
Shaq Mason
too.
When they traded him away. What else?
I think that's Who's the pick?
Cole Strange. It is a strange pick. Guard from Tennessee, Chattanooga.
All right, so they went offensive line.
Yeah, you called it there.
I didn't have him mocked in my first round, so I really didn't do a lot of anything on him.
You don't do a lot of scouting of Chattanooga?
No. I know they had a pretty decent basketball team this year, didn't they? They made the tournament.
Yeah.
Did I know you both did the mock draft on your most recent episode of Bet on It. Did either of you get any picks right?
I was actually just saying to Jordan before we came on, out of the top 10, I got 2 completely right. And then 3 of them were 2 of them were swapped back to back. Like instead of Trayvon Walker, I had Hutchinson, and then I had the other one, Hutchinson instead of Walker. And then my third my third swap was I had Wilson and Drake London, but I had them at the opposite teams. So like my top 10, the only one that was completely wrong on really was pick 3, Stingley. Outside of that, like I had either the position right or I had the actual player right.
I think Ahmad Gardner was the only player I got right in terms of matching them with the team, and I think I mocked him at 10, not 4, so I don't even think that fully counts. So
only half counts.
You did better than I did, so good job.
It was like I think I got 3 of the top 10, and then it hasn't been very smooth sailing since. And you actually had Kenny Pickett going at 20, Jerry.
Just to the wrong team. Yeah, I had him to the Steelers. No, he did go to the Steelers. I thought.
Yeah, he went there.
I had Willis. I had Willis to the Saints.
Yep. Right.
Nice. All right. Perfect. The pick is in for KC.
Yeah, I see it. So I don't know. Do you want me to save it for a sec? Or
is it going to be a weapon for Mahomes?
No.
Oh, come on, Chiefs. What are you doing?
Finally.
All right. What do you got?
Edge rusher.
Karlaftis.
Yep. George Karlaftis off the board.
Wrong, George. Could have been Pickens. But edge rusher out of Purdue. This is one of Jordan's favorite guys. So Jordan, tell us everything that you like about him in 2 minutes.
Every single thing that I like about. No, I mean he's got good size, good speed. I mean it was one of the needs heading into this draft for the Chiefs. I think I had him actually going 15, I believe, to the Eagles originally. I mean, he struggled a little bit last year at Purdue. It was a guy a year ago, if you were looking ahead at mock drafts, he was going, in the top 10 pretty consistently. So the upside's still there for him. And, at this point in the first round, this is where you can afford to take a little bit of a risk. So, helps them. It's a guy with a little bit of an upside, so it's a pretty nice pick. And the Bengals pick is in already, so we're flying now.
We're flying, but that also means that Willis is probably not going in the first round because nobody's trading up. Unless since he takes Willis and runs a 2-quarterback set.
Yeah, I like that. No.
So it might end up with just 6 wide receivers and 1 quarterback in terms of fantasy relevant players going in the first round.
Yeah, no running backs went, no tight ends. Unless you're in an IDP league, it's not a big fantasy first round at all. But we could see Minnesota. Minnesota's out there. Wide receiver is always an option there for them too. Adam Thielen's getting a little older. You got KJ Osborne, who had some peak games last year, but I don't think he's could hold down a wide receiver 2 spot there. Cousins, if he's the guy for the next couple of years, definitely could use another weapon. They have not Conklin. Who's the other tight end that they got coming back?
Irv.
Yeah, Irv Smith coming back from injury. But outside of basically Irv and Justin Jefferson and an aging Thielen, not a lot of weapons there besides Cook. But pass catching weapons on the outside for Cousins definitely need some help there. So we could see another fantasy relevant option off the board at 32. I don't think they're going to be one at here at 31 with Cincinnati because they're loaded at wide receiver and they got the best running back of all time, Joe Mixon.
Of all time, wow.
Of all time, yep. Is Zach watching?
Yeah, who's Jim Brown? Yeah, why not?
He's no Joe Mixon, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna head out soon and let you guys kind of end your show with just the two of you. But
Right.
before I leave, first off, really appreciate that you let me stay on for most of your segment, guys. Thank you very much. And if you like long segments, especially with all the good, I thought we got some good Dynasty talks. You guys had some good questions. It was fun conversation. But if you keep those conversations going, Saturday at noon, day 3 of the NFL draft starts, round 4, 5, 6, and 7. And last year, I think we went on for 3 hours. We'll see. I know me and my co-host from the Dynasty Gambit, a few other guests, Gerson, Zach Pulowski. So, we'll just be talking about all the picks. Gonna go over everything. Again, the 7 players today and everyone that gets taken tomorrow. And as picks are happening live on day 3, we'll also kind of announce them like we did here. So I hope everyone checks that out. And it was a lot of fun. And again, appreciate all the viewers, listeners, and the Bet On It duo here. Jerry, Jordan, thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for sticking around with us. It definitely helped us fill in a lot of time. Definitely appreciated having you. Last couple picks here. Sunday, unfortunately, I can't join you guys. I will be at work, but I will definitely be tuning in, watching from my phone. So I'll be if I could send some questions via Facebook or something, I'll try to do that and keep the show moving along for you guys.
Yeah, of course. We'll answer all questions that get asked, whether it's Dynasty or anything else. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy the rest of day 1, last couple of picks, and of course the rest of the draft. And have a great weekend, everyone.
You too. Thanks, man.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.
All right, Big J.
Here we are.
We got the last 2 picks to ourselves.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how
10.
surprised are you that 10? I'm at least an 11, but I lost my train of thought. How surprised are you that Malik Willis could fall out of the first round? I know we're not there yet, but I don't know. I'm just teams tend to, he had a crazy combine. People were talking about how good he looked at his pro day, just chucking bombs. Is this Jamarcus Russell syndrome where people are nervous that he's going to be coming? I don't know. I just think it's interesting that, I thought at some point here you'd see somebody trade up, but yeah, I'm going to be interested to see if there's something that comes out or something that was concerning to teams, because you'd think there has to be something that they saw in his film and interview, whatever it might be, that really concerned them.
Yeah, I'm definitely closer to 10 surprised than I am closer to 1. But we knew coming in that it wasn't really a heavy quarterback draft. We knew that the wide receivers were going to fly. We knew that it was going to be mostly defensive oriented and a few linemen here and there, which exactly what it was. We kind of figured. I mean, I think DraftKings had a prop bet of 0.5 running backs going, which obviously unless the Bengals or Vikings take one, that's going to hit the under.
4.5 receivers was the over under I saw.
4.5. I don't know if I saw 4.5. I when we were talking, when I was talking with a few people, we had it at or at least my answer was 7, and I think a couple other people's answers were like 7 and 6. So we were all kind of high on receivers going, but yeah, it's definitely the thing that surprises me the most, and there's really only one more pick to do it, is taking advantage of the 5th year, and I think that's where I'm surprised the most. We've seen it in the 2018 draft. The Ravens moved up to get Lamar Jackson, and he wasn't supposed to play year 1. They had Flacco there still. He was just supposed to sit on the bench and learn, kind of just be raw, and then year 2 he takes over and wins an MVP. But I think that just not having that 5th year option with how pricey these quarterbacks are these days, and the next quarterbacks to come up with contracts are Kyler, and then you got Joe Burrow and Herbert coming up, and Tua if he takes that next step. So it's nice to have that 5th year to kind of help you with negotiations and build the team around, but it doesn't look like you're going to get it out of Malik Willis.
Yeah, it is interesting. I brought it up in our episode a little bit the last time, but I'm almost wondering if that matters less now, because guys aren't waiting for extensions until that 4th or 5th year. I mean, we're seeing extensions earlier and earlier, guys demanding, give me my money or get me out of here and I'll find somebody that does pay me. So, I'm wondering if that factors into these teams' decisions. If we get to a point where he lives up to that hype, we're going to have to pay him earlier than year 5. But yeah, I don't know. I think a guy like Malik Willis is a prime candidate, even if the Giants traded up to get him. Daniel Jones probably isn't the long-term solution. They just declined his 5th year option. you're a little unsure about Willis, so it gives you an extra year to evaluate him, and it makes Malik Willis to me feels like the perfect candidate to trade up to 32 and take him. But
Yeah. Well, like you said, Seattle has those pair of picks, and Baltimore went with Daxton Hill, safety out of Michigan. So good
yeah,
pick
makes
there.
sense. Yeah. For the Bengals, I mean, that was their probably number one position of need. You know, I had them taking a Jabo here just because they have some flexibility to where, you know, not to say they don't have any needs, because they definitely did need a guy in the secondary, but, you know, they could have taken a chance on a guy who maybe not won't be ready for this year, but, you know, could be a huge piece. So I kept saying Jeffrey Simmons similar in that role, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good pick. It fills a need for him here.
Yeah, there was really, like we were talking about earlier with the upcoming picks, it was somewhere in the secondary, or they could still go out and get offensive line help, even though they have
Mhm.
addressed the offensive line. But definitely somebody that's going to come in and he's going to help this defense, and hopefully, well, not hopefully, because because obviously I'm a Bills fan, but hopefully for Bengals fans, help them get back to the Super Bowl again, and
How dare you, you traitor?
maybe win one for. So the Vikings pick is in, hasn't
Yeah.
announced it yet, but the pick is in. So definitely no trade ups to number 32. We already brought up some names of some early day twos, but now that the scroll has gone by a little bit more, we can see some more teams. So starting with tomorrow, I don't think Tampa or Minnesota are going to take quarterback. So he could go to Tennessee at 3, to the Giants at 4, to the Texans at 5, to the Seahawks at 8 or 9, to the Falcons at 11, or to the Lions at 14. Any of those teams outside of moving up, or any team that I didn't mention, do you think any of those teams take Malik tomorrow?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably a good. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if one of those teams are aggressive and trading up for him and getting maybe even the first pick in the second round. If that wouldn't surprise me at all. But I had the Falcons trading up into the first to grab a quarterback, so I think that's a direction that I could see happening. You know, I mean, it could happen, but is Malik Willis even the next quarterback off the board? I mean, I guess if he's fallen this far, that could be a legitimate question at this point. Do
Yeah.
people view Desmond Ritter, Sam Howell, Matt Corral, any of those guys higher than him? I think that's not something anyone's really considered, but at this point, if he's falling out of the first round, you have to think that people have him rated much lower than we think. So I think that's a legitimate question within itself. Is he even the next quarterback off the board at this point?
Yeah, Malik went from potentially the 6th overall pick to Carolina to not even being picked in the first round. Unless
I was like,
Minnesota takes him.
yeah, it could happen. I
Hasn't
mean,
scrolled across yet for me. I don't know if you got it, but
no, yeah, it hasn't for me either. I mean, I'd imagine they could still use a little bit of secondary help. So whether it's Luis Cine or Andrew Booth still hanging around there too, one of those two guys makes a little bit of sense to me. Don't believe they have a need at linebacker right now, but you still have Nakobe Dean, who maybe I'm biased because he's a Georgia boy, but
yeah, Booth was an early 20s guy. He definitely fell a little bit. Um, Nakobe Dean, I know I didn't have him in my first round mock, but he was definitely somebody that was mocked in the first round in the mid 20s. So he could be the guy here, or he'll be a nice day 2 pick. I'd like to see who has been omitted from the first round while we got a little bit of more time here, and before we close out the show. I don't know if I could get a quick link to that though or not, without wasting too much time, or just off
who's
the top of
still
my
on
head.
the board?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a list up here in front of me.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we could talk about a couple of those guys after we find out what this pick is.
yeah, a few
Skull.
guys that I just mentioned. Skull.
But starting tomorrow, we're gonna have every quarterback -1 available, every running back available, every kicker still available. Just so you
That's
know.
shocking.
Every tight end is available. But like we said, there wasn't really any round 1 worthy tight ends. Trey McBride could be help to a team that grabs him, but I think he's gonna go second and third round is Saturday or Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
so he'll probably be gone tomorrow then. just some of the names that Kyler Gordon was another one. Kyler Gordon,
Mhm.
Travis Jones, I think was going to go into the second round anyways. But Daniel Jeremiah is best available before the page goes away. Is Dean Willis, Brees Hall, Buffet, the edge rusher, Andrew Booth, and then the page went away. But so definitely some names that we've already mentioned, and some other that kind of just popped into our heads as they came across the screen.
Yeah, top receiver too. You'll see Christian Watson probably go pretty early tomorrow.
Watson, Pickens, Sky Moore.
Yep, Sky Moore. Yep.
So let's see what this pick is and close
there
out
it
the
is.
show.
Louis Cine from Georgia.
Went with the defensive back. So good move for them. Definitely a position of need that they needed. They definitely needed a lot of help in the secondary too. So they got that help there with Louis Cine, and that closes out the first round. And outside of Stingley going 3 and Willis not being taken in the first round at all, definitely I think those are the two biggest surprises. Other than that, I mean, it's been pretty tame, pretty mellow. I mean, the Chiefs and the Packers did not take a wide receiver, so that was a little bit of a surprise too. But a lot of teams did land on the position that I think we originally thought they were going to land on. So
yeah,
wasn't a bad first round at all. No Henry Ruggs were taken as the first wide receiver off the board.
Yeah, definitely not. Malik Willis to the Bucks. That's what I'm saying. Why not throw some? I mean, why not though? They don't have
First
a
pick
ton
tomorrow.
of needs. I mean, why not? Honestly, I mean, Brady. This is
And then
maybe his
trade
last
Brady to
year.
Miami. Perfect. You got it all.
Yeah, see, I figured out the entire. Yeah, I put the pieces together of the puzzle. But yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting. Obviously, there'll be a lot to talk about from a fantasy perspective the next few days. You're going to see all the running backs go off the board. We'll start to be able to overreact to where their landing spots were, which is always fun. I always think back to a few years ago when I remember we were talking about DeAndre Swift and J.K. Dobbins and Jonathan Taylor, and we didn't love any of those landing spots at
No.
that point. And
The one that we
I
did love is the worst of
Clyde
the four, I
Edwards,
think.
yeah. So, I mean, I said it earlier, but talent finds itself on the field and finds opportunity at some point. So I think that's always something to keep in the back of your mind. And DeAndre Swift is probably the perfect example. Who were we even concerned with at that point in Detroit? I was like, that's
Johnson.
yeah. I guess that's in Indy, it was Marlon Mack, and when you think about it, it looks so silly. But I mean, hindsight's 2020. But yeah, there'll be a lot to talk about there. But even Isaiah Spiller, Walker, Brees Hall, they're not as talented as those crop of running backs. So I think it's a little bit of a different situation. But I really like Spiller and Brees Hall. So see where my Georgia boys go to. I think they could be. I think they need some Yeah, they need opportunity though. I don't think they're guys. If they were buried to be the third, fourth on the depth chart, I don't think I'd be overly optimistic about their long-term outlook. But yeah, I mean, how many Georgia guys ended up going in the first round? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys from that defense.
Yeah, they. I just saw the graphic on there. They showed 5.
Yep, that's the most from one defense from one school in NFL draft history. So,
5
unsurprisingly,
from that side of the ball. Yeah, that's crazy. They got outside of White and Pickens and Cook. Who is anybody else really out there from Georgia?
N'Kobe Dean still will be
Dean.
one of the first few guys. Yeah, those will be the next few Georgia boys that come off the board. After that, I'm trying to think if there's any other potential. I can't really think of anybody else from Georgia that'll be coming off the board after that until way later in the draft. But probably they have another linebacker, Tyndall, who will probably go in round late second, early third. So maybe in that area too. But yeah, I mean, just in terms of winners, I guess that's usually a good topic to bring up at the end too. The Jets had a crazy first round. I mean, we mentioned
It's
it a
hard to
little
say
bit.
that they didn't win that round.
Yeah, I mean, it seems almost like you have to say it, but I mean, good on them. I mean, they made the most of every single one of their picks. They traded up to, a little, not aggressively because they didn't give up a ton to get Jermaine Johnson, but good value on him. And I think you have to talk about the Eagles too. They traded up to get Jordan Davis, which, that's one of my boys, and I think that he has some of the most upside in this class. But they also landed AJ Brown. I mean, not directly drafting him, but trading that cap. You're not going to get a guy like AJ Brown guaranteed in the first round. So to pick him up, I think it's a super successful first night for the Eagles as well. And they're an intriguing team overall. I mean, especially they played really well at the end of the year. If they learn to stay balanced offensively, which that was kind of the formula to their success at the end of the year, Jordan Davis helps that defense. You give Hurts another weapon. Obviously, that was a concern heading into this draft now that they've seemingly wasted a pick on Jalen Reagor. So they filled a lot of holes. They're going to be an interesting team. I think they could compete with the Cowboys and potentially win that division this year.
Yeah, not even a pick from today, but just feeding off the Eagles pick. Remember, in that Saints trade, they got another pick for next year too.
They did, yeah.
And that's supposed to be a little it's more quarterback heavy, but just overall there's a lot of talent coming out of that draft too. So even if it doesn't help them on the field this year, it's still another pick to add to their arsenal. 2 picks in the first round next year.
Yeah, they're in a good spot if they don't like Jalen Hurts. The quarterback class is very strong. They'll have 2 first-round picks. They might have the ammo to trade up and get their guy pretty aggressively next year if Hurts ends up faltering. So they'll
And if
be
he
an
doesn't
interesting
falter,
team.
that division is it's winnable. The Giants' moves, they're looking okay. They don't have a lot of faith in Jones by not picking up the 5th-year option, but they're starting to get a little bit better with today's draft. The Cowboys are always a threat. Washington bringing in Wentz could definitely help them, especially with that defense that they got. So the division is wide open. You can't really put a finger on one team taking over right now. I mean, Dallas is probably the favorite, but Philly and Washington really aren't too far behind.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so at all. I mean, it's a division that's interesting in terms of quarterbacks. I mean, you got Dak and a bunch of. I mean, I love Jalen Hurts, but you have to still say he's not necessarily the long-term option there. But yeah, I don't. I feel like more so, and this seems to be the theme in almost every sport right now. There's a lot of parity, if we're being honest about it. I mean, when you look at the AFC, how loaded it is. I mean, everyone wants to talk about the Bills and the Chiefs and the Chargers and the Bengals, but I mean, even looking down, you were talking about the Jaguars earlier, the Jets. A lot of these teams that have been bad the last few years, they at least are interesting. You can't look at their rosters and go, oh my God, they suck. I mean, they have young quarterbacks with some promise. They're putting pieces around them. Defensively, they have some young guys. So, and you have the Browns now with Watson. You still have Lamar hanging around, who everybody's forgetting about with that loaded AFC. And, that's just the AFC. The NFC is not as loaded, but there's very few teams across the league where I look at them and go, I don't see anything promising.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the AFC teams, you could just throw any 2 teams out on the field and find some excitement in that game. Like you look on paper and say, oh no, the Jets are playing the Jags today. But you got 2 young quarterbacks, two teams with new coaches that are going to be trying to get Salah's not new this year, but he's an exciting coach. And then the Jaguars have a new coach this year. But they're like, you're not going to get a boring 13-10 game out of those teams. Even if you look on paper, you might be, I don't want to watch this. Why is this the only game on? It's
this
Thursday
isn't
night.
a Bills Jaguars game.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be 6-9 or whatever. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of excitement. I mean, at the end of the year, those teams that I mentioned could end up with only 4 wins or whatever, but the internal games should be fun to watch.
Yeah, they'll be competitive. That's all that you can ask for at the end of the day. The NFC is probably a whole different conversation, but
yeah, you throw the Bears against the Seahawks, and that's a boring game.
Yeah, the Seahawks, that was the first team that popped into my mind, but I don't know. I think especially being in that division, I think they could have the potential to have the number 1 overall pick. I'm not saying they're going to, but
I would
you have
say
to
yeah
throw
too.
them. Yeah.
I mean, of just going down, I mean, you could put Atlanta up there, Seahawks up there. I mean, even like the Bears are still a mess. I mean, we all want Fields to take the step or be the next guy there in Chicago, but it's as of right now, I mean, they're still one of the lower teams too.
Yeah.
I guess it's safe to say that the number one pick is probably coming out of the NFC.
Most likely, yeah. I would say. I feel like the entire AFC is going to just beat up on one another, and you'll see a lot of teams with, not 11, 12, 13 wins. Everybody's probably going to be clustered in that 10-ish range, give
Yeah.
or take.
There's definitely going to be some surprises. I mean, like we talked about earlier, not necessarily that the Jags are a playoff team, but they're going to surprise some people this year. If Tua could take the next step, the Dolphins are going to surprise some people this year.
Yeah.
In our chat before, I was talking about Washington. I think that
Mhm.
Washington could take that next step, and I think that they have the tools to win the NFC East, and they can surprise some people. None of them are really Super Bowl favorite threats, or maybe they don't even win their first playoff game. But I think that they can. I think that they can definitely make some noise.
Yeah, I think more likely you'll see a surprise team out of the NFC just because there's really nobody emerging as a leader. I mean, maybe not that crazy, but I actually kind of like the Vikings this year. When you're looking at their team construction, I think defensively was, a struggle for them last year. But they added Zadarius Smith. Their secondary should be better this upcoming season. They've added a few minor pieces on the offensive line. When you're looking at teams that people aren't talking about making the playoffs, they're definitely in that conversation. But you know, they actually are solid at quarterback. They have weapons, a good running game. We'll see what a new head coach brings to that organization, but that's a team that I would probably have sneaking into the playoffs, at least in a wild card spot, because they're probably not going to surpass the Packers, but
Yeah, that's one, and Saints is another one too. Their
yeah.
draft so far today has been pretty good. Jameis, he had what, a 14-2 touchdown interception ratio when he played last year. You're getting better. You're getting better just by all player coming back with Michael Thomas. Obviously, Kamara could face some discipline and miss a few games, and that would definitely hurt. But overall, I think in that division too, outside of Brady and Tampa, and I mean, age has to catch up to Brady at some point, right? Maybe not, but that is another team that they're really only fighting for a wild card with teams from other divisions, really, because Carolina and Atlanta really aren't a big threat. So you're eliminating
No.
two teams right there, and the Saints could, with those two teams gone, that's two less teams plus Chicago. We already mentioned Seattle. We already mentioned. They're just moving up into the standings without even playing a game, and they just have to play their games and could possibly see themselves in the 7th seed by the end of the year.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about probably the fight for that 6-7 seed will come down to a good number of teams in the NFC when you think of the Saints, the Vikings, Washington, the Eagles if they're not in the mix for the division, or maybe even the Cowboys if they're not top in the division. The Cardinals you can't count out either. There's going to be, I think, a lot of teams kind of clumped together in mediocrity in the NFC, and that's why I wasn't overly optimistic about the Rams heading into next year, but I have to bring up the Rams at least once. We didn't get to talk about them at all, but I'm actually I think they could repeat and go to the Super Bowl, honestly, just because the NFC is so weak overall. I'm not going to say I'm confident about it, but the path doesn't seem overly challenging at this point.
Well, I think we were kind of worried about the Rams because of their cap situation going into the offseason, but they've definitely made some moves to
They don't follow those
Yeah,
rules. I'm
to-
sorry.
to work around it. But so I think they're going to be okay. Allen Robinson coming in, they beefed up that defense a little bit. The offensive line still needs some help, and maybe that's the way that they go tomorrow whenever they pick for the first time in this draft. But it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, everybody keeps saying in several mocks that I've seen that they're going to go after a running back. I mean, maybe at some point. I mean, and it goes back to even earlier when Matt didn't like that we were talking about a running back going to the Bills, but you can't have enough depth at the running back position. And, if Singletary goes down, are you confident in what the Bills have behind him? I like Duke Johnson, and Zach Moss is a guy, but having depth doesn't hurt. And if you're a team that doesn't have a ton of holes, there's a lot of value in having depth. And I think a big thing for the Bills heading into next year should, they should have a focus on being more focused or balanced. I can't speak now, it's past my bedtime. Being more balanced offensively. When they started running with Singletary more, you saw that offense really click. They became less predictable. So adding another guy to complement Singletary isn't a bad idea. And the Rams have Henderson and Akers, but both of those guys have had a little bit of an injury history. It doesn't hurt to throw another name into the mix. McVay does like his committees. He comes from that tree of the Shanahans where they like having their options available. So, I think it'll be interesting. Yeah, they just gave Joe Noteboom, who was kind of a depth piece for them the last year, a pretty sizable extension. I think it was 3 years, $45 million. And they're expecting him to play left tackle. He hasn't played there almost at all his entire career, so that'll be interesting. And just to bring up other news that I see scrolling across the screen here, AJ Brown did sign an extension with the Eagles tonight.
Okay.
4 years, $100 million. So another receiver gets bigged out. I think I just saw 67 million guaranteed. So a pretty sizable contract once again for a receiver, but it's crazy to me. I don't know. To me, I don't see receiver being a foundational position for winning a Super Bowl. So I don't know. It's just interesting to me.
They're the most outspoken position, though.
Yeah, I guess pay me or I'm gone. I'd say, okay, be gone if I was an NFL GM personally, but no.
All right. And I think we'll end it on this last note here. Debo is still a 49er. Does that surprise you at all?
I don't know. I mean, a little bit, because just after this off season, it just felt like it made sense for him not to be there. And I always say where there's smoke, there's fire with rumors like these. And, it happened every time this off season. We heard Tyreek Hill was unhappy. You're like, they're not going to trade Tyreek Hill. And then an hour later, he's gone. You're like, okay, same with Devontae Adams. You heard that. You're like, Aaron Rodgers is back. Why would they trade Devontae Adams? Gone within a day. So it just felt like the kind of off season where, yeah, it did feel like it was going to happen. Whether I saw some rumors that the Chiefs were looking at trading maybe one of their late firsts for Debo. I saw the Jets were potentially willing to be aggressive in getting him. There was another team. I think those were the two main ones. But yeah, I am a little surprised, I'll say. But at this point, he's probably not going anywhere unless they really just want to try to grab a second for him. But I don't. Yeah, I don't
second
think.
or pick next year, because it's kind of
Yeah.
once today is over with, or I mean the draft is or the first round is over with. It's hard to say if there's going to be any more moves. Like, I mean, Baker's still a Brown, Debo's still a 49er, but it's not like they're both going to necessarily chase first round picks. I mean, we're seeing what AJ Brown went for, maybe that leans another first round to the 49ers, but unfortunately it's not going to be for this year now. It would have to be for next year. But we'll yeah, I mean, I think that does it for us. I don't know if you're going to be coming on any of the shows tomorrow or Friday or tomorrow or Saturday. If you're going to guest on them, unfortunately I cannot. So this will be it for me for this week. I believe it is us next Friday, correct?
Yes, next Friday. Yep.
All right, perfect. So I will we'll chat during the second and third round tomorrow then.
All right, peace out.
All right, toodles.